ass? What kind of mayor calls a kid a fat ass? Come on, man.
Possibly, he playing on the odds of me. I almost got shot in them robberies. 9 months later than BZ did. You even took away one of JG's kids. Shed a little light that you got to give, cause I'm wondering how you let me live. I got a long way to go to make it, praying for a miracle. I've been grinding for all of my life just to find me again. Got testify and let me spread my wings. I got a long way to go to make it, praying for a miracle. I've been grinding for all of my life just to find me again. Got testify and let me spread my wings. I send them on saints, look it up in the face. Weaking the thorns and I'm speaking in tongues. And speaking in tongues, let me take out my glasses. Sipping on the bottom and the planet molasses. Rocking the world and I could offer the axes. Practice of madness, judgment, imagine if you had a hand for help. But the card you dealt, said a man up and do it yourself. I took time with a rhyme and the dine itself. The design is felt like a Mona Lisa. Recently, decency was easily confused for weakness. He preaches to telekinesis, knees is weak when I speak up. Then astral projected right through your speakers. He is the man amongst men, but still I got a long way to go to make it, praying for a miracle. I've been grinding for all of my life just to find me again. Got testify and let me spread my wings. I got a long way to go to make it, praying for a miracle. I've been grinding for all of my life just to find me again. Got testify and let me spread my wings.
Systems are offline. Number one. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
No Outlet Live with your favorite hosts on the North Coast, Jeremy Tomesek and Jarrod Stover. The road to boredom ends here.
No outlet, but I need to charge my phone.
No Outlet Live.
That didn't work out as planned. This is No Outlet Live. Welcome back to a whole nother episode. You could call us at 216-647-0064. The phone lines are open. You can email us at nooutletlive@yahoo.com. I am your boy, Jeremy Tomesek, your good friend. And we are accompanied by your homie, our homie, Jarrod Stover.
What's up, dude? That's a whole lot of cheering. They love us.
Yeah, dude, we are mega loved. You can find the show all over the place. I wanted to talk about something just to kick off the show. So on my TikTok feed, I have been reminiscing about the Speed Racer. Do you remember the cartoon Speed Racer?
Yeah, of course. My dad used to make me tape that shit every morning at like 6 in the morning before school. Because he wanted to watch that shit.
Dude, the Speed Racer was so fire of a cartoon.
Right. Yeah.
So I've been watching on TikTok. The algorithm has been feeding me a ton of Speed Racer. And
have you seen the... Oh, God, I'm sorry.
Well, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, have you seen the actual movie? Like,
I have not watched that movie. No,
oh, come on.
No.
You're missing out. Anyway, go ahead with what you said, because that was totally important.
Well, hold on. Am I missing out? Because like
swear to God, dude.
The revisions of a lot of Disney stuff, it doesn't come out that good.
Is it Disney though? Because when I was a kid, it was on MTV. I don't know.
Speed Racer was on MTV when you were a kid?
Yeah, with like Aeon Flux and all that kind of shit. You don't remember that? Like the oddities, like things like that.
Isn't Aeon Flux like super like newish?
As far as I know, it's from when I was a kid. You can look it up if you want. I swear to God, like it would be Aeon Flux and like The Head. Do you remember The Head from MTV?
I don't know that.
I'm fucking old, man. Like, sorry,
you're old as fuck, dude. No, so I've been getting fed this algorithm about how Speed Racer was he was a complete savage, dude. He was like, our protagonist growing up was actually like, he was the what's the opposite of a protagonist?
An antagonist?
Antagonist. He was the antagonist the whole time, and he was super thugged out.
Who?
Speed Racer, dude.
No way. He was an antagonist?
Dude, he was a super antagonist.
Yeah, right. Racer X, maybe.
No,
Let's be real.
It was Speed Racer, bro. So I saw this clip, right, of Speed Racer's dad. He was getting bullied by some people, and his dad looks at him and he's like, but Speed Racer, they got guns. And Speed Racer looks at me and he says, oh, for real? And he just books it out of the door because he's headed right towards war, bro. Like, Speed Racer was really about it. He always had that thing on him. He kind
of had to, you know.
Well, he kind of had to, but he was like vicious when he had that thing on him.
Yeah.
All the time.
And like, how crazy is life? No, never mind.
What were you gonna say?
I totally spaced. Like, I had something sweet, but like just went blank. Like,
no, like
it was gonna be awesome though.
Dude, Speed Racer was thugged out. He was running amok. I saw this video where he sideswiped somebody off the edge of a hill, and he had to pull his car aside, and he walked up to the edge to make sure they did drown into the ocean. He like watched, and he had this like sour face. Yeah, that is kind of
brutal when you put it that way.
Like, he was a menace, and that's what the M on his helmet was for. Is what the commenters say.
What commenters?
The commenters on the internet.
But none here. I'm looking at the comments. I know nobody commented.
No, not here. Unless we have anybody watching that has been seeing this algorithm, dude. Hold on. I feel like I may actually have a video of it. Let me see if I can find the right one. Might take me a second.
I was looking at Biden's inauguration again.
No.
Oh, I was interested in that. Like, I don't know where the Speed Racer story is
All right,
going,
how many beers would it take for me?
Not that either. These are for later. These are spoiler alerts.
Wow.
Oh, did I send it? Please tell me I sent this. Oh, I may not have.
Damn.
Hold on.
And now you've just played everything you're gonna play.
No, nobody can really tell what was going on. Hold on. So maybe I can pull it up on YouTube. I'm sure I can, because this is like viral right now.
Okay. What's viral?
Speed Racer sociopath. Okay. This is one of the things. Okay.
Calling the Mach 5.
I'm in the middle of a race, Trixie. Don't talk to me now. Can't you wait till it's over?
He said, bitch, why you calling me?
Are they married?
No, this is just a bitch. Dude.
No, I know Trixie, dude. I know the whole background. Like I told you, like big Speed Racer fans. But I didn't understand why you're bringing up Speed Racer.
Because it's going viral right now, and the Speed Racer thing is like it's the topic of discussion, I guess. If you have TikTok, it's on your feed.
I don't know, because my feed is just a lot of black people dancing to Trump songs. I'm confused. I'm like, what's going on right now? I have no clue. I think TikTok is brainwashing me.
I think that's a testament to just your personality.
Maybe, yeah. I just love Trump and black people.
Yeah. And you want to bind them all together.
Yes. Can we all just get along?
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah, right.
I've got to win. Please let him.
Why should I let him win? I'm out to win myself. Now sign off and don't bother me.
Damn.
He must win so that he can pay for the doctors to make his sister well. And besides, how would it be hard to manage a big car
He said, oh, wait, don't hang up, bitch.
Money problems. Please let him win, Speed.
Look, she said, my sister needs help in the hospital. My brother's in this race and he needs the money because he has life problems. Look at his face right now. He's like, should I not be a complete savage?
I know, he's like, wait, second guessing himself for sure.
Dude, this cartoon, I'm about to go back and rewatch the whole series of Speed Racer just to see how much of a savage
I got it
he
on
really
VHS.
is. I need a VCR.
My dad used to make me tape these shits every morning, man.
Doesn't matter to me what his reasons
I used
are
to
for
hate
wanting to
getting
win.
up.
I wouldn't be playing fair if I let him win the race on purpose.
But Speed.
I'll see you when the race is over, Trixie.
But Eloise is ill. They must have some money. Please let him win, Speed. 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 Speed.
He like closes his eyes, like turns off.
And if you didn't see that, he just drove faster than a helicopter could fly.
Yeah.
He turned
going.
off. That was the equivalent of back when we had flip phones. He went.
Yeah.
he
was like, I'll never let your brother win.
He said, what? If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah. I'm sorry your brother has life problems.
But I would not lose a race.
We all know what that means.
All right. So
sorry your brother's a heroin addict. I have to do what I gotta do.
Look, here's another example of how he's a sociopath.
Now look at that job.
And from now on, there'll be enough money for the doctors to make you well again.
Not today.
I told you I had to win, Eloise, and I did.
Is that really the cartoon, though? I feel like I've watched many episodes. It's never been like that because I'll laugh my ass off.
Dude, look how pressed he is right now.
Yeah,
he's
dude,
like, y'all want to race? Nuh-uh, not on my watch.
Right.
And now everybody knows I am a better racer than Speed, and our trouble.
Oh, dude, I was helping. So maybe that was a scene from it. I'd be pissed too. You ain't better than Speed.
He done dropped the mic.
We'll never have to worry about anything again.
Dude.
I always thought Speed Racer was cool for wearing like the little pink, like the little red like scarf thing around his neck. That's just like class.
Yeah, like Freddy from Scooby Doo.
Yeah, exactly.
The neckerchief.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to bring those back. That was definitely an old school trend that I think people would think were sweet.
Here comes a last-minute entry. It's the Mach 5, driven by Speed Racer. The race starts in 15 seconds.
He ain't fucking around.
No.
He's already going.
Yeah, he's late to the race. He's like, whatever, I'll just jump over you guys.
Wrecked everybody's car.
Damn.
Dig it.
Speed Racer in the Mach 5 is smashing a lot of the races
Dude, this
out of
shit
the
is
match.
funny.
He's a
I
top
haven't watched it in
contender for
years, but hilarious.
championship.
Dude.
That is like edits, like though they don't cut to that shit. I've watched every Speed Racer episode.
Are you positive these are edits?
Yeah, there's quick editing. Like,
are you sure? Because I feel like he's just a total savage, dude.
I don't think so. The show would have been a lot cooler like that. It would have made me laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's just killing everyone.
Like Speed Racer is like always racing against like his like the mystery racer is like his long lost brother or some shit.
Yeah.
It's all deep. Yeah. Like,
Another thing that I did realize, so I'm one of these people when the newer generations, they ask me, I work with a lot of younger kids. They're in their early 20s, mid 20s or whatnot. And a lot of them ask me about anime. And I always tell them my go-to is always Dragon Ball Z. That's my anime.
But I think that's mainstream anime because I don't know anything past like Dragon Ball Z, or I like Cowboy Bebop.
A lot of people tell me to watch that.
That's a good one. And also, I can't think of what the other one is. Samurai Champloo. Like, if you watch those, like, those are cool ones. But those are all, like, mainstream ones. And anybody who watches anime will call you a bitch for watching those. Like, why'd you waste your time on that fucking garbage?
Now, isn't Speed Racer the original? This cartoon came out in like the 60s or 70s.
I mean, probably not the original, but like probably the original for here, like that made it to America. That was like huge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because this is definitely an anime show, and not that it doesn't come up in discussion enough. I don't think. Do you think that like I don't know. How many people bring this up when they talk about anime? Speed Racer is one of the OGs.
Is it made by like
I think
people of Japan or whatever?
Yeah, I think this is a Japanese cartoon.
Okay. I think it might be too, because I think like there's even episodes where it has like the Japanese like subtitles and shit on it that I've seen. But I don't know for sure. What if that's just America like trying to fake you out? Like, oh yeah, we're bringing anime here. Like
Yeah, it's Japanese. It was first released as Mach Go Go Go.
In what year?
And
they should have called it that shit.
1966.
Mach Go Go Go? That's
in
way
1966.
better than Speed Racer.
And then Tatsunoko Productions, they made 52 episodes that aired on Fuji TV from April 1967 to March 1968. In the U.S., the show aired in syndication at approximately the same time. The anime was later rebroadcast on Tokyo MX from July 1st to September 25th, 2008. So it is like an OG anime.
Oh, yeah. I would say that like the first.
Yeah, 1966 is going way back, mainstream-wise.
Right.
Because like the earliest one for me was Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Dragon Ball came out in the 80s, and when I was
was it 80s or was it 90s?
It was the 80s.
Okay.
Dragon Ball came out in the 80s, and then it went to Dragon Ball Z in the 90s, late 90s
That's
to
when
the 2000s.
I came into it. Probably was like in the 90s, like Dragon Ball Z.
Now I remember when I was younger in the 90s, I used to, on Cartoon Network, I would watch the early Dragon Ball series, and it was like a raunchy cartoon also.
There's some shit like the pig trying to take the chick's underwear off or whatever.
Dude.
I always thought that was like, that's a weird scene to have, but it's,
I've had a
foreign
love,
country, I guess.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I've had a love for Goku ever since.
I thought you were gonna say that pig. Like, I just wanted to be that pig. So
that too, but I have a love for Goku that goes back to an episode of Dragon Ball. He meets Bulma, which ends up being his wife, I think, later on. And they have Gohan together. But when he met her as a young child, she tried to propose a deal with him to where she would give or she would take off her panties and show her butt to him in exchange for him to do something as a favor to her.
And that made you like,
well, Goku
want to be him? Like,
no, Goku looks at her. He says, "Don't nobody want to see your dirty butt."
Dude, I remember that scene too. That's funny.
And she ruined her whole week with that shit.
That's how he locked that shit down, though. You can't show too much interest, you know.
He said, "Don't nobody want to see your dirty butt." It ruined her life, dude. And that's when I was like, "Yeah, Dragon Ball is like." When I was younger, I was like, "That's some G shit." You know what I'm saying? That's
right.
That's how you do some gangsterism, man.
You were like, "I'm not supposed to be watching this. Like, this is good."
Yeah, and then he always ran around with his little dick out and shit. He had a monkey tail.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the tail thing. Like, you probably want your tail.
Yeah, but anime is crazy. It's weird how it's grown so much. I mean, really, anime has exploded into, like...
There's just, like, too much anime, though, I think. Like,
I believe so, too.
Anybody you talk to, like, I'm an anime fan. I like this shit. And I'm like, well, okay. And then I talk to somebody else, and they're like, I like this shit. It's just too much to keep up with. I don't even watch that much TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially when it comes to cartoons. I mean, you have to have a really good cartoon for me to keep my attention on it.
Oh, yeah, I feel like that, too.
The Boondocks was the last one that really caught me. South Park,
things
of that
Boondocks,
nature.
I love the Boondocks. And it's written by white guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is a crazy thing.
Like, how do they get away with that shit? Like,
but a lot of their topics, a lot of the stuff they brought up was just mainstream stuff. Like they had the Booty Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
That was from Lock Up Abroad, or just Lock Up, I think, on MSNBC.
Well, they had the Chris Hansen one where the dude's like Chris Handsome or whatever.
Yeah, I call you Chris Handsome.
Yeah.
And then there was the episode with that one kid that he liked to do bad shit with his friends.
Oh, yeah. And the teacher saying the N-word or whatever. Like,
oh, my God.
And there's if you pull that one you can pull the clip up real easy. And it's an actual, like, teacher saying that shit. They based that shit on a real thing. Like, because there's got to be the comparison. Like the actual video of the dude doing it.
What did he say specifically to you?
Because the teacher's on there saying that shit too. He's like, I don't know why I can't say that shit. He said it. Like,
he was in class when he had a verbal exchange with his teacher, Joe Petto. But Mr. Petto said it was Riley who used the N-word first.
Oh my God, his name was Joe Petto.
Oh, like Geppetto, like when Joe Petto. Just like
I told him to take his seat, and here comes this barrage of insults. I mean, some of the words I've never even...
You got to find the actual video clip of it, though. Like, of the teacher actually saying it, because the teacher does say it. Like, it's funny. Because I just saw it the other day. That's crazy that it doesn't come up. Like,
it's just the Boondocks. Hold on.
like, just search up not Boondocks, like teacher, and it says the N-word or whatever to student.
Well, it is a word that evokes many emotions in people. It's a derogatory racial remark that has divided people for many years.
And a Jefferson County high school teacher has now received the longest suspension on record for calling a student the N-word. WHAS 11's defender Renee Murphy investigates what happened and why in this story you'll only see on 11.
Valley Traditional High School is in the middle of a racial controversy right now. A teacher used the N-word towards a student. The word is only 6 letters long, but the impact is far-reaching. And we do want to warn you that some of the language in this story is strong, and it may offend you, it may offend some other people. But since the story is not just about the N-word, it's also about the teacher's intent and definition of the word, we have decided to leave it in the story for you to decide. And what did he say specifically to you?
Sit down, nigga.
Keyshawn Chambers is a freshman at Valley High School, a Boy Scout, a football player, a member of the ROTC.
Here, do you got this, Jarrod? I gotta go grab our guests.
Oh, they're here?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know if I got it, but you better hustle. Check on Star, too.
And I just kind of was stunned a second. Well, then get away from the door, nigga. And I repeated the same insult because that's sort of what I've been trained to do.
The school district says that.
And I don't think that's totally wrong, like wrong way of thinking, but I think like you probably should have some tact, maybe.
And no one else in the class knows that I said it,
And this dude don't even look like that bad of a dude.
Investigations show that several of the students interviewed from Valley did not hear Keyshawn say the N-word first. Dawson says that students use
No,
the
that dude
slang
definitely
version
said
of
it
the
first.
N-word
That's
at
a white
Valley
guy who
High School all
wants to
the
say the
time.
N-word. That's
he
insane.
Says N-I-G-G-E-R
He's just using this
is
as
a
an
racial
excuse.
slur, but says that students use N-I-G-G-A as often as they'd say dude or hey man. And Dawson says as much as he does not like the word, he still used the slang version to feel more comfortable with black students.
Why is this word used so frequently? So I just don't understand it, and I'm trying to understand it. I need help. Yes, I use nigga.
Yeah, he does.
I've used it.
That's what white guys look like. That
I
use
put the
the
H on it
N-word.
to emphasize it's nigga. Nigga this, nigga please, nigga. Can you lend a nigga a pencil?
What kind of example are you setting for your students if you use a word that you don't want them to use?
Right.
Upon reflection, that's not good.
Dawson was suspended for 10 days without pay from January 9th to January 23rd.
That's the longest
and he has
school
to go to
suspension
diversity
by a
training.
teacher.
He says that he's learned from this experience and hopes
Hold
that
on,
others
this,
think twice before using the N-word.
This is the longest school suspension
for a teacher saying the N-word. Yes, that's what they said at the beginning of it.
Whoa. So, hold on real quick. So let me introduce you guys to our guest in studio. It's my boy. I wish I should have pulled a whole lot of clips. We could probably pull some up actually as we go. We have. Oh, hold on. Oh, crap. What happened?
Yeah, pull it like closer too. You gotta turn up his mic too a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Yeah, when people show up late, you know. I'm just kidding.
You should be good.
Maybe you turned it up too much because I heard.
Heard. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Too loud?
Yo, yo, yo.
No, I think it's good. I
We
felt like I
have-
heard you through his
Back up
mic,
a
and I was
little
like,
bit.
"Oh, that you were so far away."
Chris, Paugh, comedian. Hold on, I gotta change your stuff around here and everything.
Guess things. There you go.
What did it say? Late shithead.
No, it's cool. At least you showed up, man. Nobody else does. No, I'm just-
I explained to Jeremy. I didn't see the. I saw 8 to 10.
Oh,
but then it was
yeah.
like 7:30 and a longer message.
So you're
that was
thinking,
separate.
gotcha.
Yeah. So I thought I was only like 10 minutes late, but I guess it's like 45.
Yeah.
You guys been talking about the N-word this whole time?
Oh no, just for a couple seconds. We talked about Speed Racer. You fucking missed out, dude.
Yeah, we were talking a lot about how Speed Racer, it's one of the original animes, and in my TikTok algorithm, we're seeing that he's actually been a savage the whole time. He was not the protagonist, he was the antagonist throughout most of the career of the Speed Racer saga.
I've seen this kind of thing. The internet makes everybody the villain.
Yes.
Yeah, he
And
kind of
I'm
really
here for it
does.
for sure. Like, I love that.
They based, I mean, the whole Cobra Kai is
Oh, yeah.
basically based around the internet meme idea that
That's a really good
Johnny
point.
is actually the villain of the story
And
because
if you go back and you listen to the episodes of the Karate Kid, then you do notice that he was actually the villain the entire time.
Certainly not awesome.
Yeah, he was not great. I
Yeah.
mean, your boy, who's his arch nemesis?
Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah.
So Johnny was in the bathroom at the high school dance for Halloween, and he was rolling one up in the stall.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you know,
here
your boy
comes
comes Daniel spraying him with the hose and it ruining his Halloween celebration.
His Halloween joint, and
he showed up on the beach and stole his girl. That was like the big thing. Was like if you go back through the Karate Kids,
that was like there were YouTube videos that were stating the case for that, and then like before Cobra Kai ever came out, and one of the first episodes when they introduced Johnny to that show is him telling his side of it, and they flash back to those exact scenes.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy how they flipped the script for that, and that's why I actually love Cobra Kai. And that's a cool thing about like fandom, when you see like all these new things, just like the Speed Racer thing is coming out on the internet, where they're changing who the protagonist is. You actually get really cool things like the Cobra Kai series out of it.
Let's do it to the Bible.
Dude, I've been seeing
God
that
is a
on TikTok.
He's
I've been seeing
running around killing people's children for no reason and just to test their loyalty.
You kind of have
the
a
poor
point there.
devil's just sitting around on his cloud playing his harp, trying to rock out.
Right.
And then here's God being a dick. Like, I bet this guy likes me better than you.
Yeah.
Watch, I'll kill his kids to prove it.
So, you're a stand-up comedian in the local scene. How long have you been doing stand-up?
About almost 12 years.
12 years is a long time.
Close to it.
I've seen a lot of your sets. One thing that I do love about your stand-up is you actually tie your real life into your bits. And a lot of people, they put on their clown makeup and they show up with just like made up stories. I could tell a lot of times you're bringing up truths to your life. What really inspired you to be able to write your bits in this fashion?
I don't know. I don't know if I exaggerate stuff too, but
I mean, all of them do. All of the stand-ups.
I think it's, I think a lot of comics have said it. Like, it makes it harder for somebody to steal your shit if it's just your life.
Yeah, that's one approach that I have taken since I've only been in for a year, and I've slowed down a little bit, but I've like touched in on comedy here and there. And the thing that I feel like makes me separate from a lot of people is I'm writing directly about my life. I don't have like too many bits about the news, things going on in the world. I'm really talking about my direct life. And I almost feel like that's where you see some of the greats really come out. Bill Burr, he writes about the things he really feels that are going on in his life. Louis C.K., he writes directly about his life. Some of his stuff has to do with like worldly stuff, but it's almost rare in the local circuit to see people come out and do jokes like you were talking about flipping people off and giving them the bird while driving, and
yeah.
your bit is just outrageous about that. But I feel like that's something you probably really did. It was like, holy shit, that was actually kind of funny.
It's one of those, I do constantly do things and then go, what the fuck is wrong with me? What am I doing?
What is the most recent thing that happened to you where you did that?
Man, I don't know. It's usually getting mad about something in public where I'm like, I just livid, and then I'm kind of like, what?
Now that is
who
different.
cares? Somebody stole my cart in Aldi's, and I'm like ready to burn this whole store down. And then an hour later, I'm like, okay, this is just something that happened. It's not a big, not
you
that big
pondered
of a
that
deal.
shit for an hour. Like,
yeah, I was.
You're like, I shouldn't have thought about burning that spot down for so long.
For a solid hour, I'm like, this is just the decay of civilization.
Right.
Nobody cares about anything anymore. People are fucking garbage.
No, I feel like that a lot. All the time. I always feel like, I don't know. I feel like that's one of the things that it's a problem for me, is that I always feel like everyone else is wrong until I get proven that I was wrong.
Don't you fucking hate that? And then you got to be like, I wasn't wrong. This is why I was wrong. Make up some excuse. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the cheat code. Go into everything assuming you're wrong.
Maybe
True.
I should start doing that.
And then when you get proven right, you're like, oh, yeah, see?
Told you.
I told you I was dumb. No, I really appreciate you coming in. And just to go back to what we were talking about just previously, we were talking about animes and some of the newer ones that come out that really hit you, or even just cartoons is actually what we were talking about. I can't watch a cartoon because it loses my interest. But there's like the Boondocks came out. That cartoon was covering a lot of mainstream stuff, things that are popular and going viral in the news. South Park does it.
That new cartoon, the Boondocks.
Well, it's newer because we were talking about animes. It's a newer anime style. And, it's just these things really cover crazy subjects. And we were talking about this teacher that called a kid in the classroom the N-word.
I remember the story. Yeah, I've seen the video, and the guy trying to explain it, and he says it like 8 more times.
Yeah, the whole time, and he's like spelling it with the hard R, and like. But that is what a white guy would look like that says the N-word. I just want everybody to know that. Perfect stereotype. Nailed it.
I don't. Was the video a recreation, or was actually the news talking to the guy? Right?
No, it's the news. Like it was
a real interview with.
They wrote the cartoon from that happening. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what was funny about the Boondocks and South Park is that they pull things out of reality and they cartoon it, and that's what catches my attention.
South Park is different though. I feel like they always tell the future. Like before shit happens, I feel like they're doing it on South Park. I don't know if I can explain that.
They figured out their animation process. They're finishing some of their episodes like a week or two before they go out.
Oh, right on.
So that's why they're able to be like, within the last two, like in the last month.
I remember that special where they showed how they rushed all of their episodes through for on-air broadcasting, and they would literally do the whole process is within minutes of them airing the episode.
They write every episode every week, I think, is what it is. Something like that. Like they have a whole show on that where they do behind the scenes of that or whatever. But I don't know. It's weird that even like PC Principal or things like that. Like that was way before PC all of it, and then as soon as they said it, then all of a sudden that shit was happening, or like the whole food shit. Like every trend that happened, they always called that shit first. Like I think
does that make you believe?
If you're on top of that kind of stuff and follow the news, it's like you can
just call it.
You can kind of. Yeah. You can kind of see where things are going.
So is that what the
it's also
does?
like a comedic writing thing too, is like carry things to the most ridiculous conclusion.
Right. Yeah. And that's how life ends up.
Yeah. That's how a lot of things go. Yeah.
You called it.
now isn't that like kind of the boat that the Simpsons have always been in? Is they always called things. They said that who are the brothers that own tigers? They're the gay lovers. They had tigers back in the 90s, and they got eaten by them tigers.
I keep wanting to say Siskel and Ebert, but and you know the names. Everybody does.
Damn, it's right on the tip of my tongue, dude.
But either way, it doesn't matter. Matt Groening knew that shit because he's a time traveler.
Well, I don't know. I think that I think you can peg just like 2 guys that work with tigers are eventually going to get bitten.
Oh yeah, that's probably an easy one to call. But all the other like there's so many other things from that show that are unexplained. Like
what about when they called the exact scene of Trump coming down the escalator with him being elected in 2016? They made that scene a decade prior to when it actually came on the news.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the exact scene, I think there's a couple of things there that you could predict. Like a guy with that ego is going to run for president eventually. And then, that escalator is just... It's in
that's all
Trump Tower. Like that's
that escalator, I think, is all the presidents go down that escalator. Is that what it is?
No, I think it's just the Trump Tower, like the bottom floor, where he would come out and do all of his announcements and stuff like that.
Oh, right on.
So,
no,
I'm not saying
that could be an easy call too, I guess. Like just a random thing that just happened to come true.
I think if you're like Harvard comedy writers and stuff, a lot of stuff you're gonna put together could end up happening like later. If
they teach comedy at Harvard?
I don't think so. I just know there's like
how high.
Like Conan O'Brien and like the old Lampoon's magazines and stuff.
Right.
They're all like Harvard alum that wrote all that stuff.
Oh, right on.
So when it comes to like politics and stuff, I've known you and your brother for quite a while, and you actually your brother is polar opposite of you.
Yeah, he's full of shit.
We show his logo. Shout out to Guardian Roadside Solutions, our boys.
I don't
up
want
in the trap.
Oh, that's your brother?
Well,
he is full of shit.
With his business logo up there. Let's not get too into the politics of it, but
no,
we argue politics. All right, dude.
We argue from time to time.
What was your worst argument with your brother ever? Like,
probably had nothing to do with politics.
Well, it doesn't have to, I'm
But,
sure.
No, we've had some we've had some fights, some disagreements over the years.
Just some.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have like sibling arguments, but I know you to be like a little left leaning, and I've never voted personally, so I don't really have a stake in either side of things. But how are you feeling about this election coming up?
Dude, if you're out on the street doing the Trump shuffle right now and you're like a left dude, I feel like my mind's gonna be blown. I feel like it's coming though.
Dude, it does seem like on the internet, a lot of people that are very left-leaning are turning towards Trump because of how bad Biden is.
I don't think they're turning towards Trump.
They're doing the Trump shuffle. Like, I swear,
they're rolling their eyes at old man Biden. But here's the thing: I don't think that either one of them are. They're both out of their goddamn minds.
Yes,
they're both too
are.
old and feeble, and I don't think that if it's between the two of them, it's like they're both doddering old fools.
How do you feel about RFK?
I don't. People are.
That's all right.
People are pretending that he's a Democrat, but he's not. He's like an anti-vaccine guy.
Yeah, but what makes that not Democrat?
All the conspiracy theories. Because it's born out of. I mean, like if there's the old school of anti-vaxxers like Jenny McCarthy, that were just like dumbass housewives that were like, my baby's autistic and he just got a shot. Like, there's no proof that that's connected at all. Like, there's not one study that actually proves that is a connection.
But he thinks that his voice thing happened from vaccines.
But the newer, like, anti-vax conspiracy, it's a very much a right-wing conspiracy theory that COVID was all made up to hurt Trump and his amazing economy, which was an average, like...
It wasn't as bad as right now.
It wasn't that different.
I think it was a little different.
It's really not as bad right now as people keep saying it is.
I mean, I think it is.
The whole world has inflation. We have the least amount of inflation. Like, as far as that stuff, that's absolutely true. Like,
no, I understand that, but we live in America, goddammit, and I want $1.49.
Well, I mean, but that's
$2 gas. You know what I'm saying?
It's ridiculous to think we should be that much better than the rest of the world. We have it better than most of the world.
They've told us our whole lives that we were the best, so I want to be that.
Well, I mean, shitheads told us that.
That is true.
Joe Biden told you that too. So who can you trust?
I mean, no one in a capitalist thing, Democrats either, but corporate Democrats. But I don't know. I think it's interesting that so many people were like, they went from Bernie Sanders wasn't the guy, so then they voted for Trump. Because it seems to me like
I was a fan of Bernie.
People just want somebody that's not like that we haven't been hearing about for 80 years.
You know,
I think was the main thing that people wanted.
That was a weird thing about that race was I actually, like I said, I've never voted. I'm not into it. I've never been actually, there's never been a politician that has ran since I've been eligible to vote that convinced me that I'm on their side. None of them are very convincing. Bernie nearly convinced me. But he was in between both of the Democrats and the Republicans, and they kind of shoved him off to the side.
Yeah, Bernie got fucked by the.
He's like an original Democratic runner, right?
He's an actual leftist. Like,
yeah, he's not a real one.
They call like Biden a radical leftist and stuff, and he's basically Bush Republican. Like, he's
He
not
is.
really a Democrat.
For real.
Hillary Clinton's a Republican in any other part of the world.
For sure. I agree with that, too.
All of the establishment Democrats are middle to right, like just right of the middle. And we don't have a real left in America. Like, maybe AOC, Bernie, like some of those people, but they all have to play the same game because you cannot raise enough money to run for office without getting it from some corporation.
Exactly, and that's where
except for Donald Trump.
That's completely false.
Do you think so?
All of his campaign donations are from.
No, because we'll dive into that. From where?
From corporations. I didn't come in here to fucking.
No, we talk about everything and anything. You weren't being funny. Like, I was just.
No one trying to red pill me.
No, I'm not, dude. Because I'm not. I'm the same as him. I don't vote, but there are arguments for both sides.
But I don't. Even if you pull it
but
up.
I will say, Trump. I don't think he ran on anybody else's money except his own, and I think that was his.
He doesn't have any
thing.
money. He doesn't even pay.
Nobody does.
That's
rich.
Him.
Yeah, nobody does. That's rich.
I think most rich people pay the people that work for. Most rich people haven't filed for bankruptcy 30 times.
Probably a lot of rich people do.
Maybe under like some corporate name under a failed venture business, but they don't have nearly as many as he does.
It's all like a hustle, and they all play by the same rules. It's not just Trump. I think that's false. Like they're all pandering to each other, and they all have their own separate rules from what we live by, for sure, when it comes to money.
Well, I mean that's true, but I don't like Bill Gates, the Jeff Bezos, like those guys actually have the assets they claim to have. Trump never did. He would have things he lied about and inflated. I mean that's why he's being sued in 50 different courts right now.
Yeah.
For different kinds of fraud because he would inflate things to get big loans.
Right.
And lie on those things. The other people, the other billionaires, which are huge pieces of shit, also weren't
don't get me wrong, these are all bullshit people.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, they're all pieces of garbage.
Dude, they are. I agree with you on that.
They're not
100%.
all lying about their assets. Most of them actually
they're
own.
all lying about their assets. I believe
most of them actually own the value of the shit that they own is actually what they say it is. That you can debate if that value system is worth a shit or not, but what they put forward is, or else they would get sued.
Right.
Rich people don't like each other either. If they were all doing the lying that Trump is doing, the bankruptcies he was doing, they would call them out. You would know about those two.
Maybe you would, and I think a quick Google search will tell you that. Like, all the things that you're saying about Trump is how business works. That's 101 in business.
I don't think that's
and a lot of
accurate at
those
all.
businesses do just claim bankruptcy and come back. Well,
I don't think you can learn any. You can't
why
learn
would we need to bail out the auto industry if that wasn't true?
But
or why do all these companies actually fail
let me
and they
address
just
that, though.
You know what I'm saying?
The reason that we would bail out the audio industry is because we knew they were bankrupt. That was openly that was a measurable thing. Like Trump being bankrupt is a measurable thing. Like just saying they all do the same thing and looking at these other people if they were doing that, it would also be in the news. You can't find anything in the news about Jeff Bezos being filing bankruptcies. Maybe
because
early
he's not running
on.
for president.
Well, 50 Cent filed
that's
bankruptcy.
I mean,
he's got a lot of millions.
That's what I'm saying.
Worth
It
a quarter
is
billion.
thing.
Yeah, they file
Even Robert
under
Kiyosaki
their
does that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a loophole. They find loopholes to make more money for themselves, and it
is true. That's one thing that Trump did say on stage, because Hillary, when he ran in 2016, came at him about his tax information, and he said, I get the same tax breaks and the same tax loopholes as the rest of you politicians. You're just calling me out for it.
Yeah.
As politicians, but we're also we're talking about this there's not a difference between millionaires and billionaires. And there's
huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah,
That's the measure.
$1 million is a day, $1 billion is 6 months. It's a huge difference, and there's a lot of different holdings and shit like that.
Well, that
what I'm telling you is that all business is corrupt, yes, but as a person, as a singular entity, the Trump dynasty or corporation is
It's a front.
more
It's a
more
front.
corrupt than most, and by far. And
It's
it's
like a
not just
mafia
because he's
mentality
running for
kind of
president that they're suing him. Like, obviously they're suing him like people don't like him, and that's his excuse for fucking everything. They're just doing that because I'm Trump. I'm
But
president,
you're
and they
in
hate
the
me.
limelight, and they can't stand to see you there. Even with Biden, they're doing it to him now because they want Biden out. You know
Well,
what I'm
they're
saying?
looking
Like,
for anything
They're
they
doing the
can,
same thing.
yeah.
They're doing the same thing.
But if
none
you-
you would know none of that if they weren't running for president or they weren't trying to smear each other.
But I'm telling
And
you, I
you
think
just go
with
back to your
Trump-
regular day life and be like, I don't even know about it. But that is
But
what
I
they all
think
do.
with Trump, long before he ran for president, we all knew that he was a full of shit business guy.
Yeah,
like,
of
that
course.
was his reputation.
But the
forever
one thing I will
was
say
like-
about Trump is, do we want Biden going over here and talking to these foreign countries?
Yes.
Do we want Trump doing it?
Biden.
Trump
100%.
goes in. Trump.
I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree too. Trump went over
because you
to
think
North
that a president
Korea.
needs to be a mean cocksucker to negotiate something. He
when
doesn't.
we're on an international stage, we have to kind of like do that because you have to
have diplomacy. You have to have common decency when you speak to.
Yeah,
other
but he had
people.
diplomacy. He only
No,
blew
he
up one
didn't.
guy.
Just because
that's more diplomacy.
He thought he would cut some funding to
Here's
wars
my-
doesn't make him a good player.
Here's my diploma. See?
Right. I don't even know if he has that. We should try to pull that. Like, I haven't seen this dude's diploma. What the fuck is he doing?
No,
No, it's a little crazy to me that I would even have to explain why Trump is a piece of shit after we've all watched him for 7 years.
Yeah, you've
Like,
watched
I think
you've watched
it's insane.
mainstream media tell you.
No, I haven't. I've watched
things.
him. I've watched
But I also
videos
watch
of him.
both sides.
I've watched him
like,
talk. I watch him speak. I watch the things
yeah,
he
he
signed
could be a
and
dick,
read those.
but like he could be a dick. But I think like mainstream media definitely
Not
puts a
only
bad
is he
name
a
on him,
dick,
just
he
like
tried
Biden.
to steal
like,
an election. Like,
is that
yes.
what you guys are worried about? Like,
Yes.
the stealing of election. That's like what the left is so pissed about. Every
Are you fucking
president,
stupid? Yes.
probably. But every president in our history has said the loser said it was rigged.
That isn't true.
That is true.
That's not true.
Hillary even
That's
said it when she
absolutely
lost.
not true.
Even Hillary
that has
said it when
happened
she
a
lost.
lot.
They've all let me say something. They've all asked some, like, there's been one or two challenges in different districts. No one has ever used like a crowd of 10,000 people to try to literally stop the counting of an election. No one has ever claimed for over a year that it was stolen from them. No one has ever lost by 10 million votes and then
Right.
went to 67 court cases that were all shot down because they didn't have any evidence.
Right.
That's the difference.
But
any
none of those
other
people
time
have
those
30
people-
million people standing behind them everywhere they show up, either saying that shit is true.
Neither
too.
does he.
He
does not have the crowd.
He does.
that they
I'm sorry.
report.
I know you don't want to
You
believe
wanna
it
tell
because
me
you don't
that
want to
I'm-
be right or left or whatever.
This is ridiculous.
I'm telling you. Watch that shit.
Why are you pretending to be a centrist when you're trumping so hard for Trump? Like,
Oh
you're
no,
simping like shit right now.
Because you're going so hard against him, and I'm saying there's a
I'm not
argument
going hard
for
against
everything.
him. The facts, reality goes
Oh,
against
you're fucking
him.
simping for the left, bro.
I'm not simping for the left. I'm
Come back to the
simping
middle
for
with me and
reality.
realize that there is reality. Like I've seen.
That's not the reality. I watched it. I was in
Where?
front of my
Pull-
TV
pull the video.
on January 6th.
All right,
There's
what- oh,
10,000 hours of video.
Yeah, where they walked
There's
through buildings
1,000
and,
interviews
and
of
a couple
motherfucker
months before
claiming
that,
that
they
it was
burned
stolen
down
from him.
cities and ruined everybody's businesses, and nobody got charged with that. Come on, dude. When you
A
march
couple of
against,
things.
if you
All
march
right.
against your government, they will smack you down. That's
No,
the
no,
only
no,
thing.
no.
Don't go against.
I can't even talk, man.
No, you can.
This
You
is
can.
crazy.
You're good. You're good. No,
This is ridiculous.
let me.
No,
just,
go ahead. I don't
let
think
me-
I said anything crazy.
Let
like-
me just say one thing that I'm kind of like split because when I was kind of raised around Democratic thought people. They were all of the Democrat thought process, and I believe in a lot of that. I believe that you should help the homeless. I believe in a lot of the ideologies that come from left-leaning stuff. But one thing that I did notice is in my work, I'm a machinist, so I'm constantly in the steel trade. When Trump was in, that is the one thing I did see about him that convinced me he was doing something. was that the price of steel, he stopped getting foreign from China, which is less quality. And I was making more money because of it, because of the CEOs that ran my company.
In what way? Like, did your hourly wage go up? And then when Biden got in office, they cut your hourly wage down?
Well, no. I can say that when I was with Trump, my money was going up. I was getting a better hourly wage because the CEOs ahead of me were making more money, and they were able to pass it down the pyramid. Now that I've been continuously making more money as I go. The inflation rate that this man has during his, I don't think that all of the blame is on Biden in general for
Biden
that.
didn't do inflation. That's not a Biden policy.
A lot of people forget that policies that are in place end up enrolling during the next president. So maybe Trump did some things that
certainly 100%. I don't.
But
know
they changed
specifically
100% of Trump's plan. So like I don't know what you're saying. Like that would be all Biden.
It would
Then
be-
they
Well, you didn't let me
locked down
finish saying
everything.
it, so
Go
I
ahead.
don't know.
Right
You
on.
wouldn't know what I'm saying because I didn't finish talking.
Right.
So that makes sense.
Tell us what's going on with the inflation.
He certainly he set a whole bunch of things in place that ran out when he left office that were not renewed.
I remember that was all over the news. That is real. That was a thing that he did. Was he changed a lot of policy in order for Biden to fail.
That were temporary things. Like a lot of times, and both parties have done this when they're in office. But this is what from Trump to Biden is what we're talking about. Trump had a whole bunch of things in place that ran out when he left office. Now, a lot of those things were only sustainable for that amount of time. So they look good to people. Like, they do that shit. They do things that look good where you go, I'm making more money because the rich people ahead of me are making more money. But those rich people prefer Republicans too. So they play that into that game.
Both sides of the fence is kind of how most of them play.
When you get into like we were saying, like Biden, Hillary, a lot of these people are like basically old school Republicans. Like they're not real Democrats. Yeah, they're both sides of that is a problem. But like the inflation thing, a lot of it came from the fact that we were shut down for, however long COVID was different parts of the world. Like a lot of inflation is due to COVID. And then like the gas prices were also like, did you notice as soon as like before Biden even took office, I have a cousin that's a hardcore Trump person, and she shared a meme that was like, mark my words, 1 year from now, the gas price is going to be $3 a gallon.
Well, that was easy to call, though.
That was easy to call
because they shut down the pipeline that did all that.
No,
which
it's
is
not
cool.
the pipeline.
Because we brought.
I
all
can
the
tell
way
that
here.
you have a like very right leaning TikTok algorithm, no matter where you think you're at. On
Dude,
the
I got a
fence,
TikTok last week, and I'm telling you, like,
Well,
I'm
whatever YouTube algorithm then, because a lot of the shit
I'm anti-government and
you're
anti-police, and like it don't like.
He's
that's
an
cool.
anarchist.
That's cool.
I'm
like,
just here
we
to kind of
can-
piss you off, like you know what
we
I'm saying.
could get
Like,
together on the cops, but a lot of the things you're insisting are very true or just not, or like they are true if you consider like 10 things ahead of them that get you there that aren't necessarily like because Biden's old. It's his fault.
It's not. I didn't say it was his fault. Never once did I say that. I said that you've elected somebody who's letting you sell out your country, like for sure in your face, and I think you guys should be mad about that. That's true.
I don't know what that means. How is he letting us sell out? How is he selling out the country?
How
is he selling it out?
He's selling us to other countries, Japan, everything.
The Ukraine thing is crazy. 180 trillion or whatever.
We're exporting everything that we make. Like we should make things here and build our country stronger. Not based on the currency that they're just printing that has no value.
How do we benefit from that?
What do you mean?
Like, how do the nuts and bolts of that work? Or is that just something that we hear over and over again?
Well, what
so
you're
we
saying,
think
you'd
that's
rather
automatically a good thing.
Well, you're saying you'd rather just sit around and not work for like things. You know what I'm saying? Like we export.
No one's saying
we
that
import
they
and
want to sit
export
around
everything
and work for nothing.
But we export and import everything, right? And as soon as we bring it back here, it's cheaper. It's more affordable for us. Like, you're just letting your government run over you by printing all their money, by telling you how you're going to do things. And, like, the government is the problem.
But, I mean, in what way? The government is us. Like, it's not... The government is who we pick.
And
like,
we
everything
also
about the
differentiate
government...
between that, too, because it doesn't matter who's in power.
People act like the government is, like, a bunch of, like, Marvel heroes that can just do, like, have powers to do whatever they want. They're just people. They're people. They're a system that we set up ourselves. Government itself is not inherently bad. It is inherently like there's the opportunity for corruption, and a lot of people take that opportunity.
Everybody does.
But government as a thing isn't a bad thing. It's there. Like, we have regulations so that we don't have to fucking eat sawdust in our food. Like, there's a lot of things
but they put that shit in your food anyway.
They put there's a limit. But
no, there's a limit now. Like, we can have a
FDA.
little bit of bad stuff, but, you know, everything in moderation.
Well, no, if you've ever been in a meat packing plant, there's like an amount of bugs that are gonna get in there, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it.
You said
that kind of stuff. Well, but I'm saying, like, regulation and stuff, like the things that we're told are so bad by the right, like by whatever, like regulation, government's automatically bad. Like, it's not. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's supposed to be there for protection against the mass, like for the masses, against corporations and shit like that.
So when it comes to the 2024 election, who do you think that is going on your bid? Because
well, I mean,
we can all agree that we don't want Trump or Biden. There's got to be new, fresh blood going in there.
That would be nice, yeah. But between the two, I'm gonna vote for the guy that didn't try to steal the election.
Oh man,
I'm gonna vote for the guy who's got like.
vote for the guy who doesn't steal steal America, like, from us. Like,
and that's how you know
but
that.
Who? Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Like, he got fairly elected.
That is two sides of a fence
between the two. Between the two guys, I'm not saying Biden's gonna rip open his shirt and there's gonna S and he's fucking awesome.
I know, we've seen that.
I'm saying that he's not a piece of shit that's been sued for rape in the last 6 months.
Dude, I want to see
and convicted.
I do want to see Biden.
He was
without
convicted
a shirt.
of rape 4 times.
Trump.
He
was not convicted
of
rape in a legal in the like in a criminal court. He was sued for it and sued for defamation for saying that she was lying.
Yeah.
So he raped the can't think of her name, but he definitely raped her.
Hell yeah.
So hide from that 70s show and Donald Trump.
Yes.
But
yeah, because didn't he just come up for rape charges too? That dude.
Yeah, he just got sentenced.
How much did he get?
30 years.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he raped that chick hard.
3.
Oh,
there were 3. There were 3.
So it's multiple.
There were 3 that testified. So you got to think there's probably 6 that he actually did it too, because half don't actually.
I don't know, but like they say,
forward.
like you say more than you had. Like if you're like, oh, I was sleeping with people. Like if you say you had 3, you had 1 or whatever. Is that
but I think with
damn, we got charged with 3. That dude only did
Deshaun
1.
Watson.
I think with rape, I think it's the opposite. The numbers go the other way.
Yeah, he might be right.
If you're convicted for 3, it was probably 9.
Maybe. Like
that's triple.
I mean, he might as well got his sentence worth, you know.
And with that being said, we're gonna go off to a commercial break. We'll be right back. This is No Outlet Live. Oh shit, that was the wrong one.
It ain't delivery.
You get it right.
Stay tuned. No Outlet Live. We'll be right back.
Guardian Roadside Solutions is ready to help with your roadside emergencies serving the greater Cleveland area. They have the knowledge and experience to get you back on the move quickly with staff available 24/7 to help with flat tires, tire damage, changes, fuel delivery, vehicle lockouts, dead battery, or new battery installs. If you find yourself or someone you know in this situation, call a Guardian at 440-833-6000.
Are you looking for a place to have custom t-shirts made for your business? Well, we have the place for you. Flathouse Press works with 100% eco-friendly material for all of you conscious folks. They can also put out orders in a fraction of the time large-scale competitors can. They are a fun, locally grown Cleveland original company. Go to flathousepress.com and check out the variety of party toys, headbands, and clothing in their catalog.
What's up? Jay Remy here, host of No Outlet Live. Are you considering or curious about how you could start your own podcast? Join Anchor. Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast for free. Monetize your podcast, one-click distribution, record from anywhere on the app, and they have unlimited free hosting. Download Anchor on the App Store or Google Play. Anchor, podcasting made easy.
our loved ones always die in December. I miss the night times that I can't remember. Venom-filled veins and stone-cold sedation. Drugs are amazing and I fucking hate it. Kick the dirt off from your heels, darling. There's hell inside of these eyes. Let's lose ourselves around the cold rings of Saturn tonight. Fade away deep down into the depths. I wanna be swept out to sea. Life can seem like an ill-conceived illusion. There's no solution for some sicknesses. My soul turns to stone and I sink into the abyss. Chasing pipe dreams has its drawbacks. And without you, the world would be a much worse place. And without you, this world would be a much worse place. And without you, this world would be a much worse place. Without you, this world would be a much worse place. Without you.
Oh, sorry. Did we keep you waiting like the bartender when you want to close your tab? Well, welcome back to No Outlet Live.
Welcome back. You can call the show at 216-647-0064. You can find the show on YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Facebook Live, where the majority of our listeners have been lately. I feel like after all that discussion, we should jump right into some fun news stories. We are joined by Chris Paugh, stand-up comedian in the local Cleveland scene.
Yeah, and don't worry, we worked things out during the break. We did 15 lines of coke.
Yeah, we totally hugged it out.
We're totally relaxed now.
Are you relaxed on 15 lines of coke? Like, I've done it, so I know that's not. How we about to fight again.
We kissed each other's tips and made up, and
just the tip.
Just the tip. Hold on, I got a bunch of stuff pulled up here. Let me get rid of a lot of that. So for my first news story of the, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm missing something very important.
There you go. Very
No Outlet News. No Outlet News.
So, on the first story, we have a 20-year-old dies of fried rice syndrome after eating leftover pasta. So, I was reading this. You can find this story on elvisduran.iheart.com. There's a story of this kid. He made pasta, right? And he had put it in a Tupperware and left it on the counter. He didn't have the sauce in there. It was just the pasta noodles. He put it in a Tupperware and left it on the counter.
I've done that a million times.
Dude.
Could I have died?
Dude, in 5 days, this thing built up a bacteria. Let me find...
Oh, wait, he's eating 5-day-old noodles?
Yeah.
That's a fucking problem.
On the counter. He left it on the
already
counter.
in agreement. This guy's a moron.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
complete moron, dude.
Like, we're not in an apocalypse right now. Like, you could eat good food.
After 5 days of the pasta sitting out on the counter at room temperature, he heated some up and ate it, and noted an odd taste to the food, but figured it was just due to a new tomato sauce he was using. He went out to play some sports, but after 30 minutes, he had come home due to nausea, abdominal pain, and a headache. Diarrhea and vomiting followed, so he drank water and tried to sleep it off. The next day, he didn't get out of bed for his classes. His parents checked on him, and unfortunately, he was dead. The investigators who examined his body said he passed away at 4 a.m., 10 hours after eating the spaghetti. So he had built this pasta built up a bacteria called Bacillus cereus, I believe. Is that how you would say this word? Bacillus cereus? In most cases, the bacteria just causes diarrhea and vomiting, but there are extreme cases where it affects the liver and leads to organ failure. What they say happened to him was it was a food poisoning called fried rice syndrome, and it actually will shut down your liver.
From pasta, though, not rice.
From pasta, but the syndrome is similar. Rice and pasta are the same thing.
But who's leaving spaghetti on a counter for 5 days and then eating that shit? That's what I still can't figure out. Like, you kind of were asking for that shit.
Why didn't he put it in the fridge? Why would you eat pasta that sat on your counter for a week, dude?
And even in the fridge for 5 days, I'd be like, smelling that shit, I'd be like, I don't think this is okay.
Dude, it's terrible.
Did they say how old he was?
He was 20 years old.
Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds like a 20-year-old in their first apartment, like just eating
for sure.
week-old pasta off the counter.
Terrible. I mean, I don't know how you could even make that decision. I mean, it is a wild thing to have pasta out for a week on your countertop. You gotta... Don't you smell it when you open the top of the Tupperware?
Oh, yeah, or I think it gets a little slimy, too. Like, you're looking at slimy-ass noodles, you're like, this is appetizing.
Like, he said he...
I have went to eat something, and there was, like, a weird taste to it, and I'm like, well, this is all the food I got till payday, so...
I've been there, too.
So
at the same time, and I'm
anyways,
like, I hope I don't die.
You could have. You could have died. We all could have died in this room from something stupid like that back in the 20s.
How many times when that guy was shitting himself, do you think he was like, man, I bet I'm fucking dying, and like,
Dude,
like joking to himself or something? Like,
how many times have you taken a shit like that and thought the same thing and you're still here?
Yeah. That is a good point. Like,
believe me, I've gone through. So my regular job that's not comedy, I pick up bodies of dead people. And
hold on.
You're a coroner?
What?
You're a coroner?
I work for coroners.
Okay, gotcha.
A coroner, mostly funeral homes though.
Yours delivery service.
Basically, yeah.
Gotcha.
For dead folks, yeah.
That's cool.
We
Do you get
do
to drive
some crime scenes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we get people that have been like 20, in their 20s or whatever, that have died in some weird circumstance that they need to do, where an autopsy needs to be done.
Hell yeah.
And I wonder if any of these people had fried rice syndrome now.
Now that you bring that up, does that
Mostly it's
does
just
that
heroin.
affect your life dealing with just like corpses all the time? I didn't know this about you.
It made it better.
It really made it better.
It's been a little over 2 years. Yeah, because now I'm like, it really hit me like how short, how our time is the only thing we really have.
True that.
The time that we're here. And so I like it. It's like a perspective thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's been
I feel like I would be a little weirded out. I've been to 2 funerals in my life with open caskets, and I've seen people like dying. I've seen like the progress of dying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that would really alter my mental state for the worst.
Yeah, no, it did wonders for my depression, because I'm like, I'm
like, at least I'm not that guy.
Yeah, I walk around I walk around in the embalming room, and there's like 15 or 20 dead people in there, just smug as fuck. Like, look at me breathing.
You remind me of you gotta look like Dexter while you're walking through the embalming room.
Yeah, just all proud of myself for breathing.
So on to our next news story. Oh man, sucks to be 20 years old and eating shitty pasta.
Yeah, more often than not, it's heroin though. That's why they've died.
Yes.
So this is a good topic. UFOs and all that stuff have been really getting popular. The government itself is talking about a whole lot of UFO business or whatnot, and they're trying to pass laws that have to do with extraterrestrial anything. The first alien object on Earth was confirmed recently. This is a depiction. This isn't the actual thing. I don't know why they use this picture.
Was it a pillar?
What is the website?
GiantFreakingRobot.com.
That's why they use the picture. We know it.
But according to this article, they say IM-1, an interstellar meteor, landed in the Pacific Ocean nearly a decade ago, and now the alien object has been retrieved. In 2014, January 8th, 2014, a bright fireball in the sky signaled that something from outer space had just made its way through our atmosphere. Government satellites tracked the alien object, which became known as IM-1, to its landing location somewhere in the middle of the Pacific, where it remained until Loeb and its colleagues recently extracted it for scientific research project called Galileo. With a dedicated team of scientists and cutting-edge technology at their disposal, they embarked on a quest to uncover the mysteries of IM-1. There are many reasons for scientists to believe that IM-1 is of alien nature, mainly due to the high speed of the object it was traveling before it crashed into our surface, and its unique composition that is unlike anything we've seen before. Now, we all know, anybody that is watching this show or will watch knows that I've had this story. I've perpetually my words are so fucked up. Perpetually brought up. And it's that I seen a UFO in the later 90s. Mid to late 90s, I saw a UFO about 100 feet off of the ground. And
he didn't. We're still working on that, though.
I've seen it with 2 other people.
You saw something.
Well, 2 other people confirmed it. One of them was an older teenager.
Man,
the other
show
person,
him the evidence. Tell him that.
Well,
show him that bunk ass text. Come on.
The 3 of you saw something.
We saw something. We definitely did see something, and I'm pretty sure it was a UFO, dude. It was a UFO, but I could not see the shape because it was so close to the Earth. No, hold on.
It was so close you couldn't see it.
Yes, it was so close to the ground that I
Exactly.
couldn't see the shape of it. So I couldn't tell if it was a saucer, a triangle, if it was an airplane. It was just something floating there, and it was so big and electronic that I just go to UFO because it was just there.
I do think, and you know, I know, like, the thing is, all the evidence they've had, like, in Congress and stuff lately is, like, it's usually just a guy that used to do a job that's like, yeah, I saw some shit.
Yeah.
And, but I do believe, like, I think they probably saw something, but I don't think UFO means alien necessarily. I think it could be any country could have some weird spacecraft that we're not aware of. Even our own government could have some weird spacecraft that we don't.
And that's why they don't call it UFO anymore. It's UAP or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because then they're like, oh, it might not be alien. Like,
yeah,
and you know, who knows? That could be what I witnessed with my own eyes.
You saw a drone back in the 90s.
Dude, but this thing was huge. It was like a football field was 100 feet off the ground, just floating there with no noise.
I would believe that Amazon in 2033 accidentally sent a drone back to the 1990s.
I could see that. That would be the only alien visitors, though.
Before I could believe time travel before I would think aliens came here to do anything without. I'm sure that we're not the only life that evolved in the universe. It's a big place. I don't think that they would have any more means to get here than we do to get there. Like because physics is the same here as it is a million light years from here.
No,
we don't know for sure.
We don't know that though.
If physics are the same,
yeah, physics could be very different.
Physics are pretty universal.
No, it's just like if you say the concept of time, it's kind of just here. Time doesn't direction and time doesn't
relative.
exist in space. That's not real in space. There is no direction. There is no time.
It's relative. They say it's relative to where you're at in the universe. Like it's like they experience time slightly different. Like,
well, that's just like the study where they say if me and you were
stuff.
born at the same time and we both had a wristwatch that was set to the same exact time, right now, if we were the same age, you would be at a different time than me because of the relativity aspect of it. That's Albert Einstein saying that, like, you live in a different timeline and everyone lives at a different timeline than everyone else. So that time actually is just like, it's a concept of where you are on the planet, and it has to do with our specific star. But time in space, it's everywhere else. I mean, even here on Earth, the Jews believe that it's like year 5,000 or something.
Well, I mean, but that's just a different way of tracking time. That's like different methods of measurement for the same thing.
Yeah, and why do we measure all of our time off of Jesus? If, like, a lot of people...
Well, there's the Louis C.K. thing about that, like when they were counting down to the year 0, and they're like, oh, shit. 3, 2...
Yeah, why did they even start with 0? Or work down to it?
But I guess what I mean when I say physics is the same, I mean, like, whatever the equation is for gravity here is the same mathematical equation anywhere else. Like, those things would be different, like, based on, like, the planet might be a different size, so gravity would be different. But, like, the exact same size planet as Earth, somewhere across the universe, is going to have the same gravity that we have on this one.
I mean,
like, if the conditions are the same.
Wouldn't that depend on if it had a moon or like a star at the same distance?
Yeah, well, that's what
a
I
lot
mean.
Of
Is
things
like
would
the
have
conditions
to come into
would
play.
have to be the same, but that same like mathematical equation, I believe, would be like the same equation.
What do you feel about like the Planet X thing, Nibiru?
What are we talking? What? Oh, like the planet that's supposed to be similar to Earth?
Yeah, the 13th planet that like actually exits the solar system. It comes back every so and so thousand years.
Is that
That's where they say we're from. Is the aliens that live on that planet?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. It's like that's where Bat Boy is from the National Enquirer thing.
Hold on, let me jump back into this news story. So they say that they found IM-1 prior to entering our solar system. The alien meteor IM-1 hurtled through space at an astonishing speed of 60 kilometers per second, faster than 95% of all stars in its vicinity. His resilience during entry, maintaining structural integrity at an impact speed of 45 kilometers per second, surpassed all 272 space rocks documented by NASA, the meteor catalog they have, including rare iron meteorites. And they say, let me scroll down a little bit and try to find this one part. I was reading this earlier, and there was something really interesting about this. This thing was supposedly surrounded by marbles. There was just like marbles all over around it. And they say that the structure of the atoms within these pieces of debris around this IM-1 object that flew into our atmosphere, they are not of our solar system. They have all different compositions that we can't even create. And they've been studying these things, and they say that it all is interstellar and extraterrestrial. So these are things that are possibly sent from a whole nother version of life, from another solar system, another planet. I don't know. I mean, all of this UFO stuff, but it's like, it's scary that this stuff has been showing up. This is 10 years ago. UFOs are being like actually discussed and becoming law. And
what's the law on aliens?
They just had a huge thing.
You're allowed to fuck them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to do that anyway.
As soon as they come here.
No, it's
it's on.
The Supreme Court is trying to pass laws to where they say we're opening investigations into the corporations that apparently hold extraterrestrial vehicles. And even if they have entities, they say that they, if you don't come forward with what you have, then they're going to start knocking down doors about it, and they're going to confiscate it.
That sounds like Congress going, look, we're really busy, okay? We're working on some hard shit here. We're going to hold corporations accountable. If you've got any spacecrafts from Mars in your buildings, you better tell us. That's insane.
But that is what they're saying. Like,
that's what they're saying. I don't know if that doesn't mean that they know anything. That's just them being like, you gotta tell. You better let us know. Do you have aliens? You better let us know.
If you have Paul in your basement right now, let us know.
Dude, the coolest alien ever.
Are you a cop? You're a cop. You have to tell me. Are you an alien? You have to tell us.
I only say that to hookers, not aliens. No, but do you watch Joe Rogan?
Not really. Not lately.
You don't like Joe?
Not the last few years. I did for a long time, and I like the old episodes before he knew that people were listening to him.
I hear that.
But yeah.
That's like every record I've ever owned. And then people get it. I'm like, what a bunch of fucking posters. I hate this shit.
Well, he just had an interview with this guy named Jeremy Corbell. And Jeremy Corbell has been studying UFOs and being a journalist about all this stuff for years and years and years. And he has a predecessor that's been working with him that started journalizing about these things and the phenomenon since Roswell. And these guys have been collaborating, and he just did a podcast with them, and they were talking about all of these laws and stuff. Let me see if I could try to pull up a clip.
Well, I think that these experts on aliens and stuff. Have you ever heard Dan Aykroyd talk about aliens? He will talk about them like he knows the different species of aliens and different types, and like, well, the bipedal aliens are, I don't know, man. There's a bunch of dudes that like claim to be experts on aliens, and like there's that whole Ancient Alien documentary and stuff, and it's like there's a whole bunch of dudes that are really good at world history, that just kind of fill in the blanks of shit with aliens and then present themselves as though they're experts, and they know a lot of shit about history.
It's just like the lead singer of Blink. Isn't it Blink 182? The lead singer of them, he's
Tom
crazy
DeLonge.
about it.
But
Tom
there's
Tom
like
DeLonge.
Tom DeLonge, who's like tracked like government sightings of UFOs and like different things, and like they debunk stuff and they go, nah, this one was a weather balloon, this one was this kind of, you know, a drone or whatever. And then there's dudes that are like will tell you straight to your face, like, I know a gray.
Yeah, I know.
And so there's like different kinds of people that investigate and study and claim to be experts on aliens and shit. And I don't.
Well, check this out. This is what happened in front of the Supreme Court, and this is what this guy Jeremy Corbell was just recently talking about on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Out if any of them had to do with UAP, and if there's any money being hidden, like misappropriated, theft. And he's like, after interviewing 40 witnesses, I found a ton of shit. The first time in history that you have Commander David Fravor, Lieutenant Ryan Graves, and then one whistleblower, a guy named David Grush, who we can't validate what he said because it's all classified information. Commander Fravor, friends of ours, you know, Commander Fravor, he like just told what happened to him. He chased a UFO. Ryan Graves, who his whole squadron has been seeing these things, you've had both on your podcast. But Grush stood up there, and he sits there under oath, and he says, I did an investigation. I interviewed, it was my job to look at over 2,000 special access programs, like black programs. And it was my job to find out if any of them had to do with UAP, and if there's any money being hidden, like misappropriated, theft. And he's like, after interviewing 40 witnesses, I found a ton of shit. The first time in history that you...
So he's saying that, like, this guy, David Grush, he stood in front of the courts and he said that he was investigating this stuff due to the government or whatnot, and he found all kinds of evidence that people do own this stuff, but they don't have to come out because they've been researching it ever since Roswell and all of these all the stuff they've acquired since then. And now he's trying to tell the government, you have to do something about this because we're funding the research of it and we don't know it. And a lot of the things that they talked about was Lockheed Martin. Them are the guys that make the F-22 Raptor. They make all the stealth fighter jets that we have.
Yeah, I think there's like one important thing he said there, and it was, we can't verify anything he said.
That's true.
I think that's the most important thing that guy said, is that we can't verify the classified information. Those guys, they're always referring to some classified thing or like some video they don't have but they've seen. I don't know. I'm pretty unimpressed with people that just say things to Congress. I mean, I don't know. You know, Lockheed and Martin, like, that actually, like, lends more to the idea that it's just some fucking, like, crazy new, like, fighter jet or something, like, some weird aircraft that is
Have you seen the one that just floats like a UFO? They have one that launches. It doesn't have to fly forward.
I saw it in True Lies. In the 90s, Arnold and that little fat guy that married Roseanne was flying it around.
They actually just did make the first flying car, like they're trying to get like developed. Instead of making wings for it, like you're in a little bubble and it like turns and the actual car becomes the wings so it could fly.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense than aliens. I just like a Lockheed and Martin. You got to think too. They're like R&D shit, and like they're doing shit they haven't even told the government about. That's probably where a lot of these like dark money like type of tax breaks and shit come from. That's
and you also got to think about companies like that when they're actually testing this stuff. They have facilities all over the world, and if you see them testing out some brand new tech that they just built and have functional, you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's a UFO.
Watch that middle Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. Those little drones were doing all kinds of shit.
Oh, dude, yeah, and he was.
I see no reason you can't build a UFO out of 4 drones and some cardboard that somebody would be like, man, I saw some crazy shit flying
Well, that's
around.
one thing that the UFO, like all of the skeptics and everything, they're saying that this could be like Chinese drones that are just doing things
Yeah.
that we can't explain.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that there's a rise in UFO sightings at the same time that we're learning how to build drones all over the world. And
Dude,
shit.
I've seen videos recently of drones that the second they kick up off of the ground or whatever surface they start from, they literally just disappear within a second. They fly at a crazy
They
rate.
just take off, yeah.
So it makes you wonder. I mean, if you could make something move in that rate at a big scale, I mean, you could be just
Yeah.
flying it from your iPhone.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot more sense than aliens. I also think it makes sense that people like really want to believe in aliens right now because things are so fucking ridiculous.
It
here.
is weird.
But why now? Because aliens have always been a big thing that people have been searching.
Well,
but right now it's
it
trending,
has,
so like,
but-
it's true.
But we haven't always had like 80 different social media sites to talk about it on. and
Exactly.
Stuff like
I mean,
that.
but that's like anything too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, murder or anything goes way up when you have internet access and you can see what's actually going on.
But
you know?
Yeah.
speaking
I mean,
to
it's
that
happening
point,
the same amount. It's just everybody knows about it.
For sure.
speaking to that point, there isn't no like super great serial killer stories anymore. With as popular as it is to have all of the news feeding to you all the time,
Yeah.
we don't have Jeffrey Dahmers no more Ted Bundys.
You know
what was the dude who killed all the chicks and like buried them under his like in Cleveland? That was like a Cleveland thing,
Oh,
right?
the Cleveland Strangler.
That's like the newest one that I know about.
15-ish years ago.
That's what I'm
10,
saying, but
15
that's the
years.
newest one.
I think they find them all the time, but like there is a recent one. I can't remember. Like I know they
The
just
dude from New Jersey, he had killed people all over the country.
well, like in
and
the
they found-
70s, the Golden State Killer. Yeah, they caught that guy, but I mean, there's newer like younger ones.
I've
It's
been looking
just,
into the smiley face killer recently. Are you familiar with that guy?
From American Horror Story.
No, there's a real smiley face killer.
There ain't. Look that shit up,
dude. I'll
That's
pull it
that's
up.
what they called the guy on. There was a smiley face killer on American Horror Story one season. I think the other thing is there were studies about lead. And like we had lead in the gas in like our paint and shit back then,
And
and
the
when they changed the laws, when they regulated lead, exactly 20 years to the date was like the last big serial killers they were finding. They were like all over the place, and they've shown like throughout history where lead is in water and shit in a society that it's a more violent society, and there's like more mass murder and stuff like that.
Check this out. Who is the smiley face killer? This is according to Newsweek.com, and this was on February 9th of this year. Chicago deaths spark serial killer questions. Here's a video of serial killers that were never caught. That's not a great video with the
I also think
stupid
because
music.
of our modern sensibilities and how we like instant gratification, all our serial killers are just into doing it in 45 seconds at a mall anymore. Like,
But there's
they
never like a cool one
they
anymore.
kill all 20 people at once.
Yeah, you're right. Our version of it happens at one time, like
It's
a
like
school
mass
shooter
shooters and stuff.
Yeah. I didn't really think of that aspect of it. The Black Doodler. The Doodler is believed to have killed 16 men in the 70s in San Francisco.
So this is also a 70s one.
Like, I'd be embarrassed to be one of
There
those
were-
16 men if I got killed by a dude named the Doodler.
They said when, like
you'd be called the Diddler.
When the Boston Stranglers out there and I get the Doodler.
I know, right?
He had a habit of sketching his victims.
Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic.
I just saw I was watching one of these documentaries on serial killers in the 70s, and they said there were like 50 to 60 active at the same time.
Whoa.
At one point in the 70s.
Yeah, the 70s was just
Like,
loaded
across the
with
country.
serial killing.
Yeah, and a lot of people they think it was that lead thing.
Yeah, that makes sense because I recall hearing that same theory that like even the gas was so full of lead that the plumes that would come out of your exhaust was
Yeah.
poisoning everyone in the entire
Yeah.
city.
Well, it's crazy, like, because old people, like, brag about, like, when we were young, we
back in my
would
day,
all
kid.
pile up in one car and go on vacation. Like,
now none of
yeah,
us.
you were all getting lead poisoning and fucking murdered. And,
Who needs to read past the 10th grade level?
Yeah. Everything was so much better then. Okay. Got it. Sure.
Most things. Not the lead, though. Obviously, we don't want that.
Coochie hair definitely was not better at that time.
I don't know if it was bad.
I was gonna say. I was just thinking that too. Like,
in other news, actually, you know what? We might have to skip some of this. Kanye's wife was forced to wear a pillow in public after angering Italian locals. So, the Indy100.com says that ever since that Kanye went to Italy, he got a boat throughout their little river systems and stuff. That's
Is
how you
this
travel.
his new wife, the fembot?
The one that looks like Pete Davidson?
they say that. I don't see Pete Davidson, though. That's funny.
He got his buddy Elon to make him a robot.
Right.
She's been walking around Italy with a pillow because people are throwing shit at her now. They're tired of them being around this dude walking around barefoot.
Why aren't they throwing it at him?
I don't know. I mean, wouldn't you think
weird
that you would try
Maybe
to
they
come at
are.
the mogul?
Maybe they are, but he's just not. He's like too like he thinks he's too manly to carry a pillow around.
Or he's so psycho that he's like, nobody ever threw nothing at me.
Yeah, he's just denying it.
And even the tabloid people, I don't know. I mean, you also don't find like the video. I haven't seen video or nothing of people throwing things at them. Yeah, that's him and his wife strolling Italy.
Maybe she just wanted to carry the pillow too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, eccentric people do weird stuff like that. You know,
She just got out of therapy.
Well, she just got
Took
done.
the pillow with her.
She just got done doing some things with Kanye on a boat.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, she just brought a pillow for the boat. Like her big ass.
Right. She's like, you ain't making me uncomfortable this time, motherfucker.
All right. It's getting a little later than I expected. The news is taking a while. Let's jump into some video.
What are your other news? What else do you got?
You want to hear some other news?
Let's pick between like
You wanna do one
like
more?
a lightning round.
Kim Jong-un will travel to Putin summit in bulletproof pleasure train packed with booze and strippers.
Nice.
Pass. Skip.
Pass.
I'm just jealous. That's all.
Right.
Steve Harvey vows to clean house after wife cheating scandal. He's ready to hunt down anybody who spreads that rumor. Have you heard about this?
That his wife cheated on him?
It's been a thing for about a month now. Everybody was saying that his wife cheated on him and they were getting a divorce and she was going to take him for almost like $250 million because...
What is Steve Harvey doing with $250 million in the first place?
He has way more than that, I think.
Holy shit.
The dude's like a billionaire now.
That's wild.
He's like Shaq. If you offer him a job, he'll do it. He just takes all the money that's everywhere. Pretty soon we're going to see Steve Harvey doing 1-800 now.
I guess because he was a Cleveland comedian, I'm supposed to
Well, he was the
have
king,
some kinda...
a Kings of Comedy comedian.
Yeah.
He's like a huge
You're
thing.
not really big on Steve Harvey?
Yeah, I don't care.
I love Steve Harvey. He's great. And he does Family Feud. He's hilarious on there. He's really funny. I love him and his big teeth. But everybody was saying that his wife cheated on him with their chef. And that actually did not happen. That didn't happen. So they're saying that he's
How do they know it didn't happen?
Well, because
she said it didn't. Never trust a bitch.
No, because he said it. He was like, that would never happen, and this is my wife. There's a lot of video of him talking up his wife at like award ceremonies and things, and he's a ride or die husband. And I don't know if he says that it's a lie. I believe him.
I feel he got the video.
Yeah, he knows.
He's like, I got security.
Maybe
cameras.
he was
We know
watching.
it. Yeah, right.
Maybe he
Is
watched.
he a cock?
Maybe they have a thing.
Yeah, it happened, and he just watched. He's like, no, she didn't cheat. I was just there.
Yeah.
David Spade's bank thought that his card
tag team.
Right.
David Spade's bank thought his card was stolen after he got caught paying $9,000 for Adam Sandler's dinner.
How much?
$9,000
for a dinner.
For one dinner for
How
Adam Sandler.
How does a dinner cost $9,000? What do you get?
Maybe it
What's
was
the
a whole group of people.
I was gonna say, because what's the order? I want to know what a $9,000 plate looks like. If there's a $9,000 fucking plate.
Both Spade and Adam Sandler, the biggest names and some of the biggest names in comedy. They've been in massive films over the years. Spade was totally unprepared after paying for Sandler's bill, unbeknownst of what was to come and how the bank would react. Sandler, he always buys me dinner, you know. He's just a nice guy, and his wallet's about 10 feet tall.
Obviously, for $9,000, bro, he pay that in cash.
Hold on, I think this is a clip that's trying to load up here.
It sounds like they were both probably with a big group of people.
They would have to be. I mean, usually
and Spade paid, and his bank was like put a hold on it because it was such a big tab.
But if it's under $10,000, you know, isn't that under the radar? $9,000.
Well, if David Spade's normally only buying like $400
True.
dinners, and then there's a $9,000 one, maybe the bank flagged it.
Yeah.
Whereas Adam Sandler is constantly buying $9,000 dinners, so they don't notice
true.
his.
You think Adam Sandler is bigger than David Spade?
His bank account?
Not even close.
Back to the show.
They like us hanging out.
They like
together.
us
It's
hanging
fun.
out.
Thanks, guys.
Today's a special day for all of us because you're here, first of all. We love having you here. But also, today is your birthday, buddy. Happy birthday.
No big fuss, Jimmy.
What are you going to do? Any plans? Anything for your birthday?
Oh, well, you were going to dinner. Me and you, right?
Yeah.
You're invited.
No, me and you are going to dinner. I
yeah,
didn't know if you want to tell everybody.
Yeah,
but
no, we're going to dinner. And then
we're going to go to dinner tonight. Wow, I'm so psyched.
I try to invite anybody rich because I just want somebody to buy because I'm going to eat and drink a lot. And
and you're not paying for it, honestly.
No, I'm calling all credit cards. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, my God.
I call Chris Rock. He goes, I'm in Toronto. I go, you can call in a credit card. I mean, you could surprise me.
Yeah.
But no, it's one time, you know, I tried to, Sandler, we always talk about all these names, not to name drop, yes to name drop, but also because of old Saturday Night Live stories. But Adam once, he always buys me dinner, you know. He's just a nice guy, and his wallet's about 10 feet tall. And then he has to bend it closed. But we were all out, or I was out at dinner at some fancy restaurant, and then they go, Mr. Sandler's here. And I go, oh. I play it down. I go, who cares? You know? But then he's got this whole back room with 15 people, and they're having some big birthday party.
Yeah, so you're right.
So I go in there, and I do a few thirsty bits to get attention. Gross. And then I come back. But then when I leave, I go, it was so sickening. I'm like, I'm your waiter, or whatever.
Yeah, I've done that.
Everyone's like, get lost. So,
I've done that bit.
Yeah. So I go, all right. And then when I leave, I go, hey, put this on, my Discover card or whatever. So I charge there. The guy goes, sir, his whole thing? I go, yeah. I'm on TV sometime. Man, what are you worried about? So he goes, sure, shakung, and then I'm like, bong, yon, yon. Anyway, so the next day, identity guard calls me and says, someone stole your card. I go, they did? You go, yeah. There was some $9,000 dinner last night. I go, oh my God. I go, that was me. They were like, it couldn't have been. You're not that generous. I go, no, I was buzzed.
You're not that generous?
No.
They told you that?
They knew. They could tell. My scrimp, we've gone over your tips. And you realize you're a bit of a scrimper.
Yeah, so David Spade spent $9,000 on that dude's party dinner.
Well, that's a little different. I thought you meant on one plate, like.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's
it's
jump
like
in.
a big ass party, buying bottles of wine and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, just having a good time.
I got some fun video. Let's start off with Biden. Let's start off with a Biden
I gotta
conspiracy.
tell you real quick, I am not enjoying watching Adam Sandler and David Spade get to be like 60.
I know, right? That's
yeah,
so
weird. Well, I'll have to rebuke you. I rebuke you, you demon. He just came to Cleveland at the Romo Fijo, one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm sure that they still know how to perform. I'm 42 and I just don't like seeing them be 60.
Damn,
It's
you
just,
40 what? You 100 years old? No, he you know how his whole career he's made comedic music? His
Was
set
this Sandler you're talking about?
Yeah, Sandler. He has like a few new songs. He's got a bunch of new songs that he wrote, but he rewrote all of his old music, and it is to today's times.
To update the references.
Yeah, but it's all the same music, like the stuff from The Wedding Singer. He rewrote it to today's stuff and topics. Amazing. I mean, I was mind blown. I was like tearing up seeing how he adapts to.
So
the
he's
new
like
age.
like the Jewish song, the Hanukkah song. He's
Yeah.
just naming like TikTok celebrities
Dude,
that are Jewish.
He played that and did that. Yes. Yeah, the
Exactly
dude's-
that.
He's off the chain. But this is a video that of people on TikTok, the right leaners, the right wing. They say that Trump's inauguration, it didn't go according to everyone else's. And they say that even the military were not wearing insignia. So they're saying that the whole thing is a military op. This is
Biden's inauguration again, and I noticed none of the military had any ranks or honors on their jackets. So I decided to go back and look at other past inaugurations, and I noticed Bush, they had their ranks on their jackets. I looked at Obama. This isn't actually the inauguration, but it is a laying of the wreath. For some reason, the video wouldn't edit that I found for Obama's inauguration.
Yeah, they probably
But you
went
can
into
see
his
here,
personal computer
they
and
all
stopped
have
him
their
from doing
military
it.
rank on their jackets. And the next one you'll see with Trump. Trump has his, and I want you to notice too that all three of them were able to touch the wreath and kind of push it back on the stand. But I want you to
Biden
notice
is a hologram.
Biden's and what happens with his here. Because his is different. Because remember, there's no military rank on any of the jackets anywhere. You can't find them.
It is weird though.
You're going to see.
A little weird, I will say.
Everyone else had real military
He
there.
walks out from the left.
This is real military.
If you're facing the tomb.
But all the other ones wore insignia.
I think those guys are
So
stolen
you
valor.
see, there's no military ranking on any military officer there.
So he swore in 11:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is a violation.
They
of
also
the
say that he wasn't sworn in at the same time. It was past the time where you're supposed to do it or whatnot. They were trying to say that.
I know. Who gives
all right.
a shit?
So I feel you.
I hope he's a fucking robot.
So how do you feel?
That would be cool. It'd be a cool twist.
The
For
NFL
sure.
season has just kicked off, and there's this guy that has made a video about. He used the AI to change all of our top tier quarterbacks into women, and he
Nice.
ranks them on how many beers it would take to lay with them. Okay, this is a fantastic video. I love this.
All right, how many beers would it take for me to bang NFL quarterbacks if they were women? We'll start with Zach Wilson.
0.
Zach Wilson,
He said
0
0.
for sure, dude. Zach Wilson as a girl is super hot.
Can I make a prediction? I'm gonna say 0 to most of these.
Do you think?
Because they're fit people that they're just
So
putting
you don't
a filter
care.
on.
You don't care if they've had corrective surgery to become women. You'd still be like, oh, that's a hot chick, and we're going for it.
Well, yeah, I mean that too, but I mean in
Well,
this, like
also
with
that.
the filters.
Right on.
I would prefer them to look like chicks, but have the stick.
Oh yeah,
Not bad. I'd say sober. Tom Brady. And
hold
2
on.
beers from me.
Look
Hold
at this.
up.
Can I just this fat dump?
Yeah,
of a
dude.
dude.
These chicks are getting
has,
wasted to
has
deal with
the
them.
nerve to judge women.
Well, that was in the
Look at
comments
his
of this video.
bullfrog throated
nerve.
bitch.
One of the comments in the video was like, all of them have to get blacked out to sleep with this guy.
Yeah.
But look at Tom Brady as a chick.
Who is this idiot?
You can see the Tom Brady there, but he looks like a hot chick.
I mean, I'm sure most of them have a sister that probably looks a lot like these AI things.
Sometimes siblings do look a lot alike.
So if I like your sister, I'm attracted to you. Like, is that the deal?
That has been a thing before. People have said that.
If this guy looks like the episode of Always Sunny when there was a pedophile Dennis, like the fat version of Dennis.
Dude, no way.
I'm really having a hard time with just watching this guy go, I would have to get like 3 beers to bang this chick.
Hold on, you got to see more of these quarterbacks.
Justin Fields.
You can see I'm with him. He said got to check ID first, but one shot. Okay.
She's of age. 1 beer.
She's of age.
I don't think
Jimmy G, sober
Oh,
as
yeah,
shit. I don't need no beers.
I was
to
gonna
bang
say
that.
never.
And he renames them too. This is Jenny Garoppolo. Not Jimmy, is Jenny.
Kyler Murray, as long as she's of age, sober, we're good there. Nothing crazy.
Are you good?
Nothing
That'd
crazy.
be a no for.
All right, I'm gonna think like 4 or 5.
Kirk
This
Cousins.
one's has like a smile, like a church camp smile. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like a church camp chick.
A Karen with stinky breath.
But but still, this guy, everything he says, I double it, and then it's him. Like that's how many he would buy them.
Yeah.
In order to get anywhere.
Well, he wouldn't even buy them drinks and then still get anywhere.
He would probably put something in their drink.
This chick would never bang this dude. Ever.
Yeah, none of them.
None of them.
It's just basically
Well,
Kirk Cousins
maybe.
with the wig, and yeah. So move on to the next one.
Matthew Stafford is a chick. Is pretty hot. I like Matthew Stafford girl version.
Okay.
Okay.
Megan
Maybe.
Stafford, 4 beers.
2 beers. He said 4.
He said
is
4.
a
He's
dude.
lying.
Deshaun Watson, dude. Look at Deshaun Watson.
7 beers.
I would let her give me a massage.
He said 7 beers though. So I'm thinking he may be right. I don't.
Dude, he's kind of accurate.
Yeah.
In 3 shots.
In
Patrick
3 shots.
Mahomes,
Yeah, dude, he's gonna
case
say.
and a half.
I was gonna say a case.
Aaron Rodgers, in order to bang Aaron
Look at Aaron Rodgers.
Still not bad though, dude. Any of these chicks walk
Rodgers,
into a
or to
bar
bang
and
it.
you're down.
Dude, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers kind of looks. I don't know. I guess he could be like a hot chick. I don't know.
I seen the chicks you've been with, and I can tell you would be thankful for a chick like that. To
Oh,
come
what do
into
you
your
mean?
life.
we both can play this game. You don't want me to fucking bring that on the show.
Oh no, but I'm not saying that I don't.
I'll pull up dimes. I'll pull up dimes that I've struck
Oh,
gold
you got
with.
dimes? All right.
I have.
Pull up your dimes.
I will.
Go ahead.
Next show. I swear to God.
Oh,
I'm
you
not
gotta
the-
get.
Aaron Rodgers, I'd have to get absolutely blackout drunk. Like a case
The
and a
thing
half
is, I
and
just
some-
don't
a bottle
believe
of
him.
Jack.
Oh no, it doesn't matter because he's every man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here like,
Yeah.
yeah, I would do the same thing. He's pretty accurate.
Okay.
I think all of them sober, but he would tell his buddies that he drank.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's how many beers he would lie about having.
for sure.
We all do. You know you gotta bring home a couple heavy hotties every now and then, dude. So in another video that we got, there's this story this video that is very popular online of this dude. He had raped somebody's family member, and they say that the grandmother or the aunt or somebody was a witch doctor in Africa, and she cursed him with painful farts after the raping, right?
That's the movie Thinner, but with farts.
Is it Thinner?
Yeah, that's also
I've never seen
Drag Me
this.
to Hell. Have you ever seen Drag Me to Hell?
I'll Spit on Your Grave. Is that like
It's the same thing.
That's
It's
the
all
sequel?
the same people, I think.
That's
no, I Spit on Your Grave is totally different.
Yeah, that's different. That's like a revenge thing.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Drag Me to Hell is like a curse.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. It's the same Raimi movie. It's
Well,
pretty good.
this supposedly is the true story of it.
Isn't Drag Me to Hell Evil Dead? Is that franchise?
It's the same director, but it's
same
different.
director.
It's Justin Long, and I forget what the girl's name that's in it, but it's the same kind of thing. It's like a gypsy curse on somebody. And then,
just like Thinner. Yeah.
Well, apparently that's what is going on here. It says this man allegedly raped a witch doctor's daughter, and a spell has been casted on him. Now he farts violently.
All the time, though, non-stop. He said, damn this curse. I want to know why you always be pulling fart videos, though. Like, every time, like, fat chicks farting in dudes' faces. Like, what's your deal? You have a fart fetish, I think.
What's not funny about a good fart video? Come on now.
You know, this is what they have to do in prisons without a good prison structure. You have to curse people to fart.
That can't be real, dude.
That's completely made up. That guy's having some kind of other
Look at the
attack,
prayer.
and somebody added the fart noises.
He did a prayer on the back of the car.
I think he just fell that way. That guy was having some kind of his appendix ruptured or something.
Right.
And somebody added fart noises.
Let me speak to my people for 1 second. My people. And if you're not sure who you are, they look like me.
Was he just talking to Mike Pence?
Sometimes we believe enthusiasm and energy is unprofessional. You know, you've been to some white churches. All I'm saying is that it wouldn't hurt to, smile a little bit, sit up in the chair slightly, uncross your arms, that type of thing. But wait a minute, for my other people, on my wife's side, look, it wouldn't hurt to bring it down slightly.
This man's talking about the differences between black and white church.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
I caught that.
If we could meet in the middle, we'll be fine.
I kind of feel him. I mean, he really brought. You hear how the crowd erupted on both sides of his argument.
Yeah.
I like
just more on the black side because they were cheering more because they were getting too hardcore.
in the comments of this video, people are saying vote him for president.
Nice. I thought he was running for president right there.
Well, he just said he was sitting down with Mike Pence.
I do not enjoy his fake black accent. That was weird.
He's just Southern.
It's uncomfortable.
Here's a fun carnival ride.
Is it though? It's like self-propelled. You just gotta crank it up. Like, all right. Yeah, that seems safe. Unless these chicks face plant, this ain't a really sweet video.
Dude, this is such a good video.
At what point, like, how do you stop it? And they're not even like spinning anymore. Just the force is like just making them do like loop after loop. Dude, like, at what point do you start puking though?
Immediately.
Still mad 'cause they didn't face plant. If they do right now, epic. Jesus Christ.
If they face plant, they liquefy, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, how much do you sue that carnival for?
I don't know
What happened
because
there?
you
It
got
just-
on.
It just kept going?
Yeah, I think
It was just too fast?
major
supposed to
malfunction,
be
dude.
that
But it looked like he just had to it just ran on its own, like self-propelled, like on force. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it didn't look like there was any kind of like electronics or anything to it. He just kind of spun that shit and it went.
Yeah, like those bikes that kind of
Yeah,
go like
yeah.
a little extra hard when you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Self-propelled.
I think that's just shit got out of hand.
I would lose.
I
don't
do
know.
always, when I get on one of those rides at a carnival, I always feel like they're too short
Yeah,
for what
dude.
you're paying for everything. So I would appreciate if one just malfunctioned, but it just made it last like 2 minutes longer.
So, fun story about rides, right? When the Top Thrill Dragster came out in Cedar Point, that's a North Ohio famous theme park, has some of the best rides of the world.
I think Cedar Point has the second or third tallest one in the world. I'm not
The Top
positive.
Thrill was
I think
one of
it's-
them.
Yeah,
And-
like 410 feet, and then the next tallest is like 420 or 30 something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
that's some in China, I believe. That's like
Yeah.
it goes into the clouds or something like that.
Yeah.
But the first year that the Top Thrill came out, I used to go to Cedar Point yearly, and I rode everything. I rode the Millennium Force the first year it came out. But when I stood next to the Top Thrill Dragster, I saw a bunch of people get launched off, and they got stuck at the top of it. And I'll never do that. After I saw that, I was like, nope, not one bit. Not with that malfunction.
Oh, they had to wait for it to.
And they're sitting
some maintenance
just
on
looking
it.
straight at the sky, and they're like 400 feet in the air. Nope, not a chance.
How long were they there?
Dude, they were there. I stood there for at least 40 minutes watching these people. I heard people up there screaming and crying. And like there's stairs that go up that ride to where if worse comes to worse and that the little train is just stuck there,
There's a way they can get them off of there.
they'll make you climb out of your seat and onto that staircase. Not a chance in hell I would ever.
Do you think though? They probably have safety harnesses, like they can strap something to you and then strap it to the side, like in case you fall while you're climbing down.
I don't
it
know.
would catch you.
I never really thought of that because when I saw that, I looked up and I was like, there's no chance that I could get off of that cart. Not one bit I would get out of that seat. You're going to have to bring the whole thing down for me to get out of my seat. I'm not taking off the buckles.
I never understand because if you look at them, like if they just released it, it would just kind of gravity would just bring it to the next lowest point.
You would think so. They were stuck up there, dude. There was people, I legitimately heard like grown men, women, all kinds of people up there were crying, screaming. And I was like, dude, I'll never ride this roller coaster ever.
Yeah, I would not.
And people told me that it was a great ride. I'm like, nope.
Well,
not
now
one
you
bit.
don't. Now you don't have to worry about it because they shut it down because a piece flew off it, hit someone in the head, right?
Oh, that's right.
dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You won't get stuck on that ride.
I think they're opening it back up, but they closed it for a while. For,
I was just out there, and I
maintenance,
think they have it like they're starting to take it down and everything. Like,
Oh,
They're
really?
gonna put something else up.
Oh,
I think in
wow.
its place.
Maybe
Yeah, like,
something.
I've heard stories
honest
of people getting their head completely kicked off. There was a news story about a kid that lost his hat or his phone or something, and then went under over the barrier where they say you do not cross this, and he went in there and got his head kicked off by some girl.
Yeah,
She
the
shattered her
feet
whole
down,
leg.
yeah.
Dude, on like one of the rides, like what is it, the Raptor or something that has
Probably
your
like,
feet
yeah, where your
just
feet hang
swinging?
down. Yeah.
Ugh.
What do people think when they see a sign that says "Do not go under here"?
Well, yeah,
Go
but
under
then,
here.
do you feel bad for those people? They get fucked up when they do. Like, come on, it was clear.
It's hard, but yeah, I mean, you still feel bad anytime somebody's fucked up like that. But it's also
Yeah,
like,
but you're
what did you think was gonna
guilty.
happen?
You're guilty. It sucks that it happened,
Yeah.
but you suck.
Yeah, what did you expect to happen here?
He expected to get his phone and be,
All right.
Yeah.
For our last video, we're going to show you some financial literacy.
I have friends, advisors, and business associates who say I should not tell you this.
Kiyosaki.
But this information is important, and I think you should know it. So in school today, we're focused on a thing called SAT. Depending on how well you do with SAT, the next thing they focus on is professional aptitude testing, whether you should be a doctor, a lawyer, a secretary, or whatever. It's your professional training. But what school fails to focus on or train people on is a thing what I call financial intelligence. We never discuss the subject of money in schools. So what do I mean by financial intelligence? Well, if we gave $10,000 to 100 people, 80 of them, or 80%, would have nothing left at the end of a year. 16% with the same $10,000 might have $10,050, what you would get by putting it in a bank. And 4%, given that same $10,000, would have anywhere from $20,000 to $1 million or more. And that's what I mean by financial intelligence. So when we go to school, we learn to read these things.
What's so funny?
Just the reasons that the things that they lie to you about to make you feel like rich people are just smarter than you and not that they have more of an advantage.
Yeah, because they didn't teach you it in school.
But the 20% of people that would have more money don't have people to feed and shit like that. They don't have to spend it on rent. They already run. Like, there's a reason.
Hold on. He breaks a lot of this down
But
for
you're
you.
saying a lot of the concepts that he's speaking, like, because you can't see it on a broke level, I guess, where you don't have the money. If you had the money and the funds and they told you how to use it right, like, it'd
yeah,
be cool,
anybody
you know
could do.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, anybody could be rich if they already had enough money to make money.
Right.
He disproves that.
I don't. I mean, go ahead.
But we never learn to read these, financial statements or annual reports. We never learned financial literacy in school. When I studied accounting in school, it was possibly the single most boring subject I ever studied. So I had to create a system that was easy enough for me to understand. So these are the basic forms necessary for financial intelligence. One is called an income statement because it has an income and expense, also called a profit and loss statement. There's also a balance sheet, and the balance sheet has assets and liabilities. And these are the very basics for financial literacy or financial intelligence. I soon realized the main cause of financial struggle was due to confusion between the definitions of an asset and a liability.
Yep.
I looked in the dictionary at the definitions of assets or liability, and I got very confused, so I made up my own. My definition.
He's like, I'm confused. I just made it up.
Dude, now that's the one thing that really caught me in this video.
This guy's a dickhead. Fuck
No,
this
he,
guy.
he started off disproving it, and I wanted to hold it off just for that statement right there.
Fat Gene Simmons looking.
Definition of an asset is something that puts money in my pocket. And my definition of a liability is something that takes money out of my pocket. So what caused my mom and dad to struggle financially is my dad, because his banker and his accountant and his real estate agent told him a house is an asset. By this definition, it's actually a liability. And if these definitions are still too confusing, I simplified it even further.
Now, he is correct about that. If you are a homeowner, your home is not actually an asset because
Right.
it does not make you money. It depreciates. He is
Yeah.
correct about that. I went to business and management and I learned that much, that actually owning a home costs you money. And the more that
yeah.
you repair your home, the more you pay on taxes on it forever. It's infinite. As much
Yeah.
as you add to your home.
He's correct that home ownership is a scam.
It's a huge scam. And you end up paying more and it never makes you money, even when you sell it.
But that's also how we measure success in this country. Is like,
Is
do
through
you own
asset.
a home?
Yeah, and it's weird because it costs you a lot of money to own.
Yeah.
Well, and to make your home an asset, you have to rent it out, and then
Yes.
use that rent to pay for your house, so you're
Yes.
not paying a mortgage.
Yes.
And that's probably what he's getting to.
Yeah, which is what he's getting to is what you got to do is exploit somebody else's labor.
Is that
dude.
exploiting though? Like, if you don't have the means to get a house, and I offer you the service to get a house, like just because you have to pay more than mortgage, am I scamming you? I'm giving you a place to live also.
I think that's true to a point, but there's when you're charging, like we were just talking about rent, like $1,200 for a 1-bedroom apartment in Lakewood. That company is scamming people.
For sure.
Because when you can't find anything else in that community that's comparable. You know, if they're all $1,200, then why are you? You know what I'm saying? That's what the market has set itself at. That's the value of that.
Everyone being a leech piece of shit doesn't mean that's like okay just because it's the acceptable.
Well,
like,
Jarrod kind of makes a really strong point.
Because anybody will pay what anybody will set their price at what the market will bear. And the market will bear $1,200. That's just bottom line. You know what I'm saying? It's not about being a leech or whatever.
Community matters.
It matters, but I mean, just because like 100 landlords agree that like we should like have somebody that happens to have less credit than I do pay for me to own a building.
Yeah, but
like, just because enough people agree doesn't mean that it's right.
Right. But oil companies, any other business, that's the business model. You're saying because I'm not offering you a discounted price that I'm being a leech. I'm just going by what the community will be.
I'm not looking for a discounted price. I'm looking for a fair price. Yeah. And that's it. Just because a bunch of people agree to an unfair price doesn't mean that that's okay.
But here's the thing is if you go to East Cleveland right now, you could buy a mansion for like $500 a month and you will have a legit mansion, but you will get all of your shit robbed all the time.
Yeah.
Your car will constantly have no windows. People will be robbing you when you leave for work.
But what a system like that does is it says that only rich people or like only wealthy people should be allowed to live in safe neighborhoods.
Yeah. I agree.
That kind of system, whether you think it's right or not, that's the result of it.
It is. It's true.
That's why we have bad neighborhoods. Is like
that's why I pay a fuck ton in rent for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Right, you pay way more than you should have to.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely do.
And that just because a whole bunch of people have agreed that $1,200 is a fair price in one part of town, where like $600 is in a lesser quote unquote part of town.
I pay to not have roaches.
But I mean that I don't think that's late stage capitalism. That's like everybody's taking advantage of everybody at this point.
Yeah.
And I think this kind of thing that this guy is talking about here is like that's good and well for like people that have had a life where like their parents were able to send them to college or they were able to go to college, whatever leg up they have that they can go like if they can give you $10,000 and you don't have like already have 3 kids or you're not already in debt, then you can turn that money around and make more money with it. But not everybody's starting at the same place where they can take that $10,000 and do that.
Well, just a second ago in this video, he said his dad's accountant. That just like shows you
that shows where the life where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And he's also he's saying it in a way that's like
he's not saying his dad.
He did say his dad,
but he's not talking about his dad. He's talking about his rich dad. Do you know who this is?
Who is this?
It's Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki. You know this guy?
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Okay, so he has the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And his rich dad was rich and he learned everything he knew about from his rich dad. But his poor dad was like a Harvard professor and made nothing, was always struggling. And he learned all of his business from the rich dude that he met up from, you know, his childhood best friend or whatever, his dad.
Yeah.
So when he says his dad, he's talking about the rich dude that taught him how to do this.
So his understanding of the world is that he knew 2 guys. One of them was rich and one of them didn't care as much about being rich.
Yeah, and then like the dude who was rich,
more about managing money.
Yeah, exactly.
But the point is, both of those dudes had money to begin with. One of them was just not good.
Well,
at
I don't
it.
know.
But you're saying like a Harvard professor has money. He kind of does. But what he's saying is, his poor dad's poor money management skills, kind of is not the life. And if you just go and live the way the rich do, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he sold like wallets and shit with like fucking band names on it. That's where he got his first business. And then he buys his first house, and then he makes like $16 return a month or whatever on it. And then he just kept buying real estate. It's his whole, like, his shtick.
So but what I'm saying is like that also supports what I'm saying is that he learned a lesson from two people that had the means to have earned a whole bunch more money.
If he would have taught,
but he didn't follow the guy that wasn't doing all the smart financial things with his money.
But then what he's saying right now is that if they would have taught him what his rich dad taught him in school, everybody would have been more financially literate, and the world would be a better place.
What I'm saying is that you can teach everybody that, but somebody that doesn't have a rich and a broke dad,
a fund to dip into,
or fund like, and if his idea of his poor dad is a Harvard professor, his idea of poor is like way off.
But what he's saying, and then there's a whole thing where his dad goes broke and everything. His poor dad, like from where he was the Harvard professor, and then he goes into politics or something because he decides to go away from that. And then he didn't have the money to fund it because he didn't properly manage his money throughout his years as a college professor or whatnot. And he watched the spiral and like go out of control. And then the rich dad was like, taught him financial literacy. And if we learn financial literacy in school before we even start, we wouldn't be talking about if I had 3 kids, because you'd already know the way the rich play, which is what I was saying earlier. Like, everybody claims bankruptcy. Everybody does these things because that's the natural thing to do. And if you look, even that dude does that shit. Just like you were saying, like every president does it. You know, every person of financial status does it.
Oh,
that's the game.
Let's finish off this video.
The new definitions are: if I stop working, assets will feed me, and a liability will eat me. So the most important thing about being financially literate is understanding a thing called cash flow. I can tell the difference between a poor person and a middle-class person by simply looking at their income statements and balance sheets and figuring out which direction the cash is flowing. So I will show you the cash flow pattern of a poor person. Generally, a poor person, all they have is a job. The income comes in from the job, goes down, they pay their rent, clothing, a little food, and goes out the expense column. And this is a cash flow pattern of a poor person. The cash flow pattern of a classic middle-class person is a little bit different. Income comes in this way, but what a middle class, they probably have a mortgage, they probably have car payments, they probably have credit card payments. It comes up again through the expense column and then out this way. So what you see here are the cash flow patterns of a poor person versus a middle-class person. So the cash flow pattern of the rich is different. The cash flow pattern of the rich flows from the asset column.
And this is true.
Into the income column. So while the poor and the middle class are focusing on income, what the rich are focusing on is the asset column. And the asset column is the great secret of the rich. So for those of us who weren't born rich and what we have is a job, every time money comes in, this is the point of choice. This is where you make the decision to be rich, poor, middle class. If when this dollar comes in and you take the dollar out this way, then it's your decision. If you go and buy yourself a new T-shirt, cappuccino, a new lunch, then you're choosing to expense it right out. You're choosing to be a poor person. If instead, when you get a pay raise or more money, what you do is you go and buy a bigger house, a new car, or you take a vacation on your credit card, then what you are choosing to do then is to be a middle class person. And if you choose, instead, when the money comes in and you choose to put it in the asset column, then you make that decision to be rich, poor, middle class. By putting in the asset column, at this point, you're choosing to be a rich person. But the choice is up to you, nobody else.
Now, with that being said, what he was talking about is actually true, and you can see it on a TV show on Hulu called Trust. It's about the Getty family. And when... it's a popular story about an oil tycoon, Mr. Getty. He ends up finding out about a grandson that he wasn't super familiar with, and the kid was just like a random hippie. He was a hippie little drug addict kid. He ends up getting kidnapped or whatnot and held for ransom. But prior to the kidnapping, he tried to show the kid how he made a business that funds itself and makes him rich. So the whole thing, he built up a set of assets. He was like, I go and I drill the oil. Once I get this oil, I buy a bunch of gas stations. Then after I get the gas stations, I get this and that. And he made like a web of things that where he spent his money, it goes into things that make the money back and it returns back
buildings,
into his
like that.
pocket.
Yeah.
He became one of the top billionaires of the world because he had something that funded itself and all of the other businesses. And that is financial literacy with 3 idiots on No Outlet Live. We are going to have to let you guys go. We're a little while past this. Chris, do you have anything that you want to plug? Any shows coming up or anything that you want people to come and check out?
Just Tuesdays. Tuesdays at Spotlight Cleveland.
Okay.
It's 8701 Madison here in Cleveland. And Saturday, the third Saturday of this month and every month, we have the Roast Battle, the Ad Hominem Attack show.
Very popular Cleveland show, comedy-wise.
Yes, we've been it's been running for 8 years at few different venues over the years. We're at Spotlight Cleveland now, and it's the third Saturday.
Now, with that being, with you saying that, one of your comedians that always does the Ad Hominem Attack show, Brandon Petrie, he's the one that convinced me to try comedy. I worked with him a year ago or a year and a half ago, and I told him that I heard that he was a stand-up, and I told him that I had always debated in my head trying it, and he said, and I quote, well, stop being a bitch and just do it. and that was enough to convince me to try to be a comedian.
It's show up a lot, go up, record the jokes you tell, listen to them, and when you listen, if people laugh, then say that joke again next time.
See how it
if they
lands,
don't laugh, if they don't laugh, then stop saying that, and then just keep doing that for years until you have recordings full of people just laughing.
And that is great knowledge from the great Chris Paugh. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you joining us on No Outlet Live.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
And we will see you guys next week.
Peace.
We'll see you next time. This has been No Outlet Live.